This is the only place where you get truth, justice, in the Big Sills way. Holy cow, Mott on. Oh, my God almighty, man. Hey, listen, you better buckle up. You guys better buckle up today. We start the program off as we always do here on a Football Monday, though. Big Sills. Hey, listen, I want to start it off. Let me try to start off on a nice note. Olympics were good. They had closing ceremonies last night. I love the track and field, the weightlifting, all that. Exhibition football over the weekend was good. Caleb Williams actually looked pretty good. He did. Caleb Williams looked pretty good. Jaden Daniels. My boy, Xander. He looked outstanding. There you go, man. You see that guy rolling that offense, man, for the Washington Commanders? Did you see that guy, my guy, Jaden Daniels? That Washington Commander team is going to be a force in the NFC East. By the way, we want to start off by saying welcome aboard to our brand new partner here on JAKIB, BetUS. We are powered this entire program by BetUS, and we appreciate you guys. And thank you guys so much. Please check out the website if you're looking for a new betting house this coming football season. BetUS is your home. So we look forward to that. We thank you guys very much. Better buckle up. Better buckle up, baby. JM goes to Commander secondary shit. Okay. This is where you're going to get truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. Unlike that bullshit you've been listening to, those press conferences on the Eagle website, and even to some extent, even with our guys. Holy shit. Let's bring things into reality here. Let's have a reality conversation here. Okay? That game was awful on both sides. You know why? It was all 2s and 3s. Anytime you get backup players, you're going to have pre-snap penalties. You're going to have a lot of bad football, and it was on display Friday night against the Ravens. It was an absolute tough evaluation. Even Vic Fangio said you have to temper with what you saw because it was 2s and 3s. 95% of the players that you saw on the football field, you won't ever see again in pro football. The Ravens played 4 first-teamers all night. 4. You played your entire defense. By the way, I thought it was one of the biggest bullshit reasons when Sirianni said, well, we didn't feel like we wanted to play our offensive guys because of the weather. Oh, okay. So you felt it was okay for the defense first-team guys to play, but not the offensive first-team guys? Why? Because you spend more money on that side? You got a better football team on that side? So what you basically did was you gave the night off to the money guys and you made the inexperienced guys work. Okay, just say that. Don't come up with some bullshit answer or some bullshit reason. Just say defense needed more. We didn't want to play our big star players. We thought they may get hurt because you don't have any star players on defense. Get this. Oh, I see. It's okay for the defensive first-team guys to play. Okay? You're damn right Ravens didn't play their first-team offense. And your defense looked like shit against 2s and 3s, and I'll get into it here in a minute. Here's some of the guys I thought stepped up and looked nice. I thought Will Shipley looked good. Jeremiah Trotter continues to improve. He's actually, once again, better than I thought. I thought Quinyon Mitchell was decent. I'll tell you a guy who I thought really played well. Needs to get some more reps. Trevor Keegan. Remember I told you on draft day, that was my favorite pick in the draft, was Trevor Keegan. I think this guy could be a starter on that football team next year. I think Trevor Keegan can start in the offensive line next year. Okay? Remember something when I tell you this flat out. To sit here and say that you guys look good against 2s and 3s, those Raven players will never play. They didn't play their first-team defense or first-team offense. Ravens played 4 first-team guys. 4. 4 first-team guys. 4 first-team guys. Guys, as you always do, please hit the like button. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much. So again, my initial takeaway was I did like this aspect of it, though. Even though they were not very good players, that the younger players that the Eagles rolled out there and played them against, I think it's a great way to matriculate the young players into the NFL and see what the league looks like. And you can keep upping that each and every single week. And it's called player development. Throwing all those young players like Jalix Hunt or Quinyon Mitchell, or when Cooper DeJean gets back against top-flight guys is disastrous. But to put him in a game like that, you get a chance to see what NFL game tempo is. So it's a good thing. Again, this is not all bad. Again, it's actually not bad at all. Okay? Again, like the first 3 series, your pass rush was 0. And I even loved how Vic Fangio talked about all the players. You're going to get more of an honest assessment from Vic than you are Nick. Nick will tell you everything and nothing, and then blow everyone up, and it's not true. Vic will tell you who you are. Okay? And he actually talked like that. And I love listening to the coaches. Okay? I thought, again, I came away with a lot of things that they did well in that game. Matriculated the younger players. I thought the quarterbacks moved the ball. Anytime you get 2s and 3s, you know one thing that I have realized? Absolutely, Daniel. Vic Fangio is a breath of fresh air. You know the one thing that I really loved? I now know why Kellen Moore was brought here. Why do you guys think Kellen Moore was brought here? What would be the most important thing that Kellen Moore was brought here? What do you think Kellen Moore, and the most important thing that Kellen Moore was brought to Philadelphia for? And you're starting to hear players say it. Abraham says to bring stability to the offense, period. Veteran status brings in experience. Motion. D, that's nice. I like that. Super Bowl sales, checkdowns. Scapegoat to be our head coach next year. Play action. You know what I think he brings? And it's evident on how the players talk about him. Let me see where Tanner McKee said that. His blitz check rules are insane great. This guy's got a way of checking, and he has check rules on blitzes. I'll tell you something about the guy that I've noticed Friday night. His check rules that he has in his O-line, even with the 2s, I thought they were great. He has great check rules. This is going to be instrumental for Jalen Hurts and all the quarterbacks that play on that Eagle team. His rules on checks, motion, and his route patterns, you can see it. Even with the 2s and 3s. It's exceptional. I watched that game and I went back and watched it 3 times. His pass routes are mature. His check rules on blitzing are exceptional. The quarterbacks, Tanner McKee and Kenny Pickett. Now, they didn't pick them all up, but you can see there's new rules in the building compared to what there's been. Quite frankly, I think Kellen Moore has better check rules than what Jason Kelce did. Now, let me back up. It's 2s and 3s, Sills. Let's not get out of hand here. Okay? Let's not get out of hand. But yeah. Okay? Yeah. You can see it. You can see it. Kellen Moore is bringing he's bringing a lot more diversity in options of who to throw the ball to. There's more clarity of vision for the quarterbacks to see what's in front of them. It's a pro offense. I'll tell you what, man, guys, you're right. Your coaching last year sucked because the shit that I saw, even with backups on Friday, is night and day. Just in your rules and protection, slide protection, man protection, zone protection, all the things that confuse defensive tackles. Wait till you get your first team guys in there. It's going to look insane great. It's going to look even better. That was pretty good, man. It was pretty good. Okay? So I really enjoyed watching Kellen Moore run that offense. I thought Tanner McKee was excellent. I thought Pickett, again, you look at the arm, I don't know. I mean, you know what I think he is? You know who Kenny Pickett is to me? I don't know. A better version of Tommy DeVito. Cooper Rush. He's something like that as of right now. He's like Cooper, maybe a little better than, I don't know, Cooper Rush, something like that. That's what I see. You know, he's okay to have on your team, but he's not going to win a stretch of ball games for you if your QB goes down. Okay? I think Gardner Minshew's better. So I think your best backup that you've had in the building in the last 3 years in the Nick Sirianni era has been Gardner Minshew. So I don't know. I think he's okay. Okay? Well, wait a minute. I'm not on the other side of the ball. I'm a Waker you. Now remember something. Let's go over to the other side. I thought the Ravens second team O-line blew up the tackles in the first two series. They got knocked off the ball. You had zero rush. Their backup quarterback situation in Baltimore, I don't even know who those guys are. I have no idea who they are. I've never seen any of those guys. Josh Johnson, who's been on 14 teams. I knew Josh Johnson when Doug Williams wanted him in Tampa. I think the first time Josh Johnson came into the league, I think the Bucks and John Gruden had him. That's how far back he goes. Josh Johnson goes back to the days of John Gruden. Okay? In Tampa. That's how far back he goes. Their backup situation, and they got to fix that thing, man, because if Lamar goes down, you'll win 4 games. That thing's atrocious. Guys, please do me a favor. Trying to get to 250 likes. Please hit the like button. Thank you. Okay? Their season's over if Lamar goes down, says JM. I second that. So let's get into a little bit of, again, more depth into the takeaways. Once again, man, the defense side, starters played. Offensive starters didn't play. Do I have a problem with that? Here's my problem. Mahomes played. Allen played. Burrow played. All the big-name quarterbacks played over the weekend, except your guy, because it rained. Jesus criminy. You don't play in inclement weather in Philly? I mean, those guys played. Anthony Richardson, coming off an injury, played. I saw everybody play except the Eagle guys. I mean, what's the deal here? So you're just going to drop those guys in and parachute them in Sao Paulo against – I thought Jordan Love looked fucking awesome. Holy shit, did he look good. Dude, Jordan Love. Holy cow, did he look good, man. He looked great. He's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. Okay? He's good look. That's a good-looking quarterback. I thought J.J. McCarthy, man, played better than I thought. I even actually think Bo Nix. I actually think Bo Nix looked pretty decent. Burrow did play, guy. Not true, Taylor. Fake news. Burrow played. Burrow didn't play. Shows you what he knows. Burrow did play. Sills always wants checkers when the Eagles play chess. Eagles play chess? You're 1-3 playing chess. Come up with a better line. I'll tell you what, Charlie. Jordan Love's going to win a Super Bowl. He's going to win a Super Bowl. I did not think that. I couldn't have been more wrong about a player. I can't believe he's that good inside of 24 months. I cannot believe that. That Matt LaFleur can coach. Okay? Taylor says Prescott didn't play. I said big-time quarterbacks. This is why I dislike it when people judge before actually watching. Kelly has adjusted to each quarterback talent he had. I feel pretty rely too much on PFF stats. What are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Lamar didn't play. That's a big-time quarterback. Okay? Look at LJ. He's been in the league 4 years. Your guy's been in the league 5 years. Jordan Love has played 24 months of football as a starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Your guy's been in half a decade. You want to go there? Okay. Jordan Love looks sensational. Sensational. Okay? Sensational. So, yeah. They were drafted in the same year. How about this, dickhead? He's way better than Hurts. That guy is a deep pass thrower. Boy, man, I cannot believe how good he is. Let's move on. Trotter stepping up. Okay? Trotter stepping up. Let's talk a little bit about Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore got to the mic. See, I don't listen to reporters. I really don't listen to shows. I don't give a shit what people think. I care what the coach says and the players say. I don't care what a reporter says. I have no caring what he says or thinks. He sees the game completely different. You know why? He sees it looking down at a notepad. I see it through the face mask of playing the game. That's my difference. Or being in a team meeting. Or being in and around players, not around reporters. That's how I see the game. So, and I listen to the coaches and players, not reporters. I seriously don't care what their opinions are. Okay? Now it says, I don't care what Sil says, but he's here. Thanks for coming aboard. Thank you. Let's move on. Kellen Moore. Processing the combination of quarterbacks. He said the communication with the guys was really good and what they're doing. And the communicating. You can tell that that's a major focus for him, is communicating with his players and going back and forth into their ear, telling them and asking them what they're seeing. He is a good coach. He is a really good coach. I thought Tyler Steen, he got a ton of reps. I'm not sold on him. Sorry. They are not going to commit. No coach is committing. Whether you listen to Nick or you listen to Kellen, no one's committing to Mekhi Becton. I thought Xander asked a really great question this morning. You know, he may win the job, but is he good? Is he a capable guard? Or is he just filling the hole? It's a great question. We'll find out. That tells you a little bit about Tyler Steen. This guy hasn't played a lot of ball, man. I'm starting to go this way on him. Hey, I don't see it. I mean, you're hurt. You're not that good when you're in. Where are we going here? You're a third-round pick. You're a third-round pick, guy. Okay? I don't see it. Show it to us. By the way, people are rooting for you. Nobody's not rooting for you. We're rooting for you. Seals, I was disappointed with the edge rushers. Me too, Kyle. And I'll explain to you what Vic said on that Nolan Smith sack, because he says it in the press conference too. He says he's excited about the wide receiver group. Well, outside of Devontae and outside of AJ, remember what I told Xander a couple months ago? You don't have very good wide receivers. Outside of year two, the rest of them are dudes. They're not, are they? The most important thing you can get out of that, will any of them be reliable? You don't have to have stars. I'm not looking for stars at the 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm not. I'm looking for just people that are reliable. Can I rely on you? Probably the guy I would rely on the most would be Britton Covey. That Anais Smith sucks. Get him off the team. It's time to fire that guy. He's terrible. Okay? Not a loss. First of the 5 round draft choices that they took. He stinks. Get him out of there. I need a roster spot. Go find another guy. Okay? Go find another guy. He sucks. It's time. Move on. Okay? I think, again, like I said, I was really, really happy to see Trevor Keegan play the way he did. I thought he played well, man. You know, I know it's against 2s and 3s of the Ravens, but I thought he played well. I did. I really liked the way he played. Okay? I do. Seals complaining too much. Hey, fuck that guy. I'm talking to you like a coach talks to their players right now. And if you don't like it, leave the locker room. I thought Trevor Keegan played really well. I want more reps with him. I might even try to flip him over to right guard and see if he could take some snaps on that side. Because he looked good. I told you guys this. Now, remember this too, guys. If Tyler Steen sucks, but Keegan steps up, it's a wash. Keegan will take that spot on the roster of Tyler Steen. He's cheaper because he's a 5th rounder. That's what you call wash. Steen's a 3rd rounder. That's equity. That's kind of a big pick, but you make it up in the money. Okay? You make it up in the money. I'm all right if Steen blows up and Keegan steps up. You win that. It's good. You found a guy in the draft to replace a guy in the draft. That's what you want. You don't want to have to replace a guy with free agency. Why? Howie knows if Becton wins that job, he's got to fork up $20 million next year, or he'll leave. Okay? Hey, Will Shipley, man, is he's a ball player. Now, I don't know what that means yet. What's his role? He can catch the ball. He can block. He can run in between the tackles. Dare I say this? He's got the same skill set of a Christian McCaffrey kind of guy. Not saying he's McCaffrey. I'm not saying he's anywhere near that. But it's the prototype running back that you're looking for in today's NFL that can pass probe. See, if Will Shipley is going to play this year in the NFL for the Eagles, you know what it starts with? Pass protection. If he can't pass protect, he can't play. That's why Rashad Penny, health, and he can't block. Still, the guy runs, he's 5.7 yards a carry. And he never saw the field last year. And he was healthy. Think about that. Time goes, Smith is not a bust. He sucks. He sucks. I've seen not one redeeming quality from that player that I enjoy, nor do I think even the Eagles know that. I really like this kid Shipley. Maybe he is a Danny Woodhead type of guy, because that's what kind of Woodhead did. Catch the ball out of the backfield. I thought he did well on his protections. Good. Becton did a nice job. Again, against 2s and 3s of the Ravens. 2s and 3s of the Ravens. Okay? Here's Prince. Thanks, Prince. Which is fine. If we have to sign Becton and Keegan as a player, then we just solved the offensive line. I just said that. The problem is you got to pay $20 million for Mekhi Becton. Because if you would have had Steen and Keegan, you're on rookie deals. Now you got to pay $20 million for a free agent. You missed the money, dude. You're not going to sign another guy in your O-line for $20 million. He's going to command, if he starts 17 games for you, Prince, he's going to command $15 to $20 million. Whereas if you had Steen and Keegan, they're on rookie deals, you're paying them $3 apiece, saving money, and you got starters. What you don't want to do is cover a miss in the draft with free agents. You're going to have to cover a right guard miss with Becton and pay him $20 million if you want to keep him. Cheese goes, I don't see 20. Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't see $15 million on what Andre Dillard got in Tennessee either. Prince goes, okay, I got that, but that will be Lane's replacement. That's if the kid wants to stay in Philly and wait 2 years. Hey, listen, you're paying me $20 million and paying me money, top flight money like that, Prince. You can convince me with dough. You know what I'm saying? You can convince me to stay in Philly with dough, not promises. Promises mean shit to me. NFL breaks them all the time. Give me some money and we're good. Guys, please hit the like button. Look at this guy. The sky is falling? What the fuck are you talking about? I think your guys did a good job. I liked how they worked into young guys. What sky is falling? What have I said? Sky is falling. What? I haven't even got to some of the defensive guys yet. What sky is falling? Keegan played well. Micaiah played well. Kellen Moore did a nice job. What are you talking about? Holy shit, you guys are the biggest babies I've ever met in my fucking life. Did Lamar Mayfield? I don't give a shit about that. I said top flight guys. Mayfield's a top flight guy. Stay with me, kid. Stay with me. Let's go here. Holy cow, these guys got the attention span of a 4-year-old. Okay. These joint practices, the Eagles seem to put a lot of love into that. Okay. I suppose. Here's some more of Kellen. He said blitz pickups. There is no question. Each quarterback has a different rule book. How about that? He's built his check rules on blitzes for 3 different guys, Jalen, Kenny, and Tanner. That's detailed and exactly what you do when you're a top flight coordinator. Not every guy plays the same. Fantastic. That's a guy who does not work a 12-hour day. That's a guy that works a 23-hour day. Putting that together, not every guy's going to drop back and be in the same skill set. He's preparing every one of those quarterbacks, Kellen Moore, to start September 6th versus the Packers with their own set of rules and their own nuance of the offense. It's really good. Okay? It's really good. Okay? It's really good. They got to clean up a little bit of the penalties, but that's okay because you have a lot of young guys out there. Pre-snap sucks. I hate that stuff. Okay? Okay? Pre-snap sucks when you get those kind of penalties. Thanks for reminding me, guys. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. Sills said Will Shipley is the next. That's not what I said. I said he's got a skill set that resembles that. Once again, open your ears and not your mouth, JM. Open your ears. He's got a skill set like that, not the next. There's only one McCaffrey. Okay? Sills, if Shipley can play and be counted on, it will be Howie options as Barkley's contract gets near at the end. Now, here, Bob, I think Will Shipley will be more of an impact on this football team in 3 years than Saquon Barkley will. Because that's the kind of back Kellen Moore wants, like a Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard resembles a Will Shipley more than he resembles a Saquon Barkley. Running backs in Dallas, outside early Zeke, don't get the ball 25 times. And Barkley's a 25 carry guy a game. Barkley's not going to get the carries that he used to get in New York. They're not handing the ball 25 times to him a game. Be lucky to get it 16 times a game. That's why the numbers you guys are saying of 1,500 yards, that ain't happening. You're going to be looking at a number that's going to be more important to Kellen Moore. You know what that number is? 5 yards a carry. If you got him at 5 yards a carry and Jalen Hurts at 4.7 a carry, between those two guys, every time they touch the ball, they get 9 yards or almost 10 yards. Unstoppable. Feeding a running back in today's NFL is ridiculous. You're looking at yards per play, not just feeding a guy 28 carries. Stupid. You're looking at guys who can move. Hey, you're looking at an offense that can move the sticks. Think about that. 4.7 for Hurts and 5 yards a carry for Barkley. Barkley only gets the ball 17 times, but every time he touches it, it's 5 yards a carry. And because he catches the ball, he gives you 100 yards a game. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You'll walk right down the field on teams. I don't care how good you are. Britton Covey can play, man. Got to find out how reliable he is and durable. Got to find out how reliable and durable is he. Is that a guy you're going to be able to carry? Is that a guy that's going to be able to be relied on to build a game plan around? Okay, is that a guy you're comfortable that can carry the load of what he has to do? I'll tell you what. Hey, Xander, am I right? At Clemson, he played a lot of snaps. He seemingly was in their offensive backfield every play, and he did that for like 3 years. Caught the ball, he blocked, he ran the ball. Their offensive line was not very good his last 2 years at Clemson. But he's got a skill set that is like McCaffrey. And for some of you idiots out there, what I'm saying is he can catch, he can run, and he can pass probe. Can Covey be our Julian Edelman? I'm not looking for that out of him. Well, like a Welker, like that. Like a Welker. Okay? Like a Welker guy? Yeah, I guess so. I think that's cool. Plus, you got him at special teams. Okay? Yeah. All right. Guys, please hit the like button. Appreciate it. I've been saying this for months. I would have signed Henry instead of Barkley. But Charlie, I don't even think Derrick Henry's the right sign in Philly. Barkley's the right sign. You don't have to give him the ball as much. For Derrick Henry to be a force for you, he's got to get the ball 25 times a game. Okay? He's got to get the ball 25 times a carry. You've got too many star-studded athletes on your offense. I'm not taking reps away from AJ and Devontae just so Henry can get his carries. Seals, why does everyone act like McCaffrey is the first dual threat? Yes, Falk and Westbrook, Tomlinson. Those guys were the beginning dudes, especially Marshall Falk. In the offense, that greatest show on turf, talking to Mike Martz, said it numerous times, the offense went through Marshall Falk. And anytime you have a dual threat guy back there like that, well, here, let's just do this. The offense in San Francisco doesn't run through any other player other than McCaffrey, and that includes the quarterback. Okay? Hassan Reddick requested a trade from the Jets. So what? So what? You're a New York Jet. Great. So he's telling them because they didn't put him on the active roster. That's why. You know why didn't? Why do you think the Jets didn't put him and they took him off the active roster? Why do you guys think he did that? Why do you guys think that Jets took him off the active roster? Why do you think? Trade? No. No. Why do you think they took him off the active roster? Okay. Because there's probably a bonus that was due to him. And when you're not on the active roster for particular dates, there's dates on your contract that have a calendar date. And he probably missed it. Opening of the first week of exhibition football. He's not on the active roster. He probably had a $100,000 bonus there. Second week, let me tell you something. You don't just get, some of these veteran guys just don't get camp checks. They get calendar checks. You're on the first. You think Patrick Mahomes gets a camp check? Patrick Mahomes gets paid normal pay during exhibition football. 90% of the league and players don't. Okay? They don't. Here. Vic and Kellen talk a lot to each other about, hey, can I see this today? Hey, can you show me this today? Multiple fronts and defense. Kellen will show multiple looks and coverages and sending pass routes out to Vic so Vic can get a good look. That's pretty good stuff, man. Two coaches communicating with one another like this. I'll make it very clear. The Philadelphia Eagles have 3 co-head football coaches. Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, and Vic Fangio. Every guy has his place in that organization right now, and everyone has a role. And their roles are being defined. The only guy that's a misfit is Nick. Those two coaches are total say, but they have to play a little bit of the political game because there is a head coach. It's probably an uncomfortable situation. Ronald goes, Dan, is that normal? Well, it's actually a great question. I would imagine that Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh allowed their coaches to do what they want to do. The only difference is those coaches hired those assistants. Todd Monken is a John Harbaugh hire, not a Eric DeCosta hire. He hired him. He was handpicked by John Harbaugh. You want to know how great a coach John Harbaugh is? John Harbaugh goes, we had a coach in here for Joe Flacco, completely different style. Fires that guy. Then he brings in Todd Monken. Never gotten away. Look what was best. There lies the difference in why you fucked up last year with Brian Johnson. because the organization believed they knew what was best for Jalen, not Nick. Is there a chance the Eagles bring him back, Reddick? I don't think he burned any bridges. I don't think he's burned any bridges. They brought Gardner Johnson back, and he was talking shit on you, the Eagle fans, and they brought him back. So if Barkley can transition from carries guy to touches guy, he could be more productive, less wear. Yeah, absolutely, Bob. Bob right here, this is what I think they envision with Barkley. Higher production on less carries. Less is more. Okay? This is what I see in how they're looking at Barkley. Barkley's importance, Bob, is not going to be in his total yardage. Here's where I'll tell you why Eagle fans and some people are dumb as a rock. You had so many players last year that had career year numbers, and the team sucked at the end of the year. This is going to be about moving the sticks, not about individual statistics. Last year, Brian Johnson did a hell of a job for all the players to get contract raises, and yet the team failed. Kellen Moore is building an offense that moves the sticks. That's what he's doing. He's building an offense that's going to be productive. I'll tell you something when we get to Tanner McKee here in a minute, and what he said also about Kellen Moore. Let's go to my next guy, Milton Williams. Man, I like him. I like Milton Williams. I like him. I'd love to have him in my rotation on my football team, and I'm talking all 32 teams. If there's a guy on your defense that could play on every single team in this league, it's him. His versatility, you could play him at nose, you could play him at tackle, you could play him at end, you could play him at nickel. And he's good, and he's productive. He's got great hands. He's in shape. He could play 800 snaps if you had to. I like him, man. He's a no-shit type of guy. Every football team should have two of these guys on their roster. He's a reliable, durable, and dependable player. And good. There will always be a place in National Football League for players like Milton Williams. Always be a place in the league. I think Vic really likes him. And I think Clint Hurt likes him. I know he does. I've talked to Clint. Somebody asked him about his contract, and he goes, man, I ain't worried about that shit. I got to earn my opportunity. That stuff will take care of itself if I earn my opportunity. He's right. More snaps he gets, more money he makes. If Milton Williams has 800 snaps this year, Milton Williams will make between $12 and $15 million. Somewhere. May not be Philly, but he's going to make some money. That guy could go anywhere in the NFL right now and start on 75% of the defensive lines in the league. Easily. He could start in Tampa. He could start in Carolina. He could start with the Rams. He could start with the Bears. He could start in Minnesota. He could start in New England. Probably start in Buffalo. He's a good ball player. Patrick Johnson was the highest graded PFF player on defense. Do you think he can make the difference this year? No. Patrick Johnson, who? No. I like him. Consistent player, too. Okay? Consistent. Seals, did you see Nolan Smith get pancaked by the Ravens tight end? I did. He talked highly of what's that kid's name? Jermo? What's his name? Xander, how do you say his last name? Geronimo? He talked highly of him. Works hard. He's going to be ready to play, and he's going to create us some depth. It's good. You know what? Just because you don't have a name like that, Ajimo, hey, Pickin, he talked highly of him. Said that he's having a really good camp. And he may step up just because, hey, get this. Now you get an opportunity to get out there, get some reps. Okay? Good. Good. Let's go to Vic Fangio, the defense. Vic said he liked the end of the game. Please hit the like button, guys. Thank you guys a lot. I appreciate this. You guys are great, man. Please, by the way, okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming aboard here on this Football Monday. And I'm going to give you the honesty of it. Once again, just a little bit of a synopsis over the offense. With what the twos did, and Kellen Moore was the star of the game. Shipley looked good. Keegan looked good. Becton looked good. I didn't think the receivers were anything to write home about. Thought they were okay. They made some plays. I thought the quarterbacks were in control of the game. I thought the running backs looked decent. I thought they were. But again, temper it, back it with 2s and 3s. So Vic Fangio was asked what he liked the most about the game. He goes, the ending. He said there was a second quarter between the second and beginning of the third where they did some pretty good things, where they got a couple back-to-back 3-and-outs. What you want in a defense, 3-and-outs. Chance we could trade Milton for Michael Parsons. Never. Dude, he's good. He ain't that good. There was a stretch in the middle. Again, temperate 2s and 3s where they got off the field. They got off the field. Now, remember something. I heard John McMullen, and not just John, everyone go, that Nakobe played. Dude, Nakobe played against people he'll never play against in his life. I mean, you played good against 2s and 3s? Okay. It's fool's gold. That shit's fool's gold. You're hyping yourself up for a guy like that for massive failure. Now, Sills, does that apply also to Trotter? No, because that's Trotter's first look at NFL game tempo. And he excelled. That's his first look. Dean has seen that. He knows that they're 2s and 3s and what that means. Trotter didn't. Trotter was drafted to be a special teams guy. And he went out and played. Dude, my opinion of Kobe Dean hasn't changed at all still. You're playing decent against 2s and 3s. It's fool's gold. You put him out there against top flight guys, will get annihilated. He's not good. Stop. Even Vic said, hey, you have to always temper yourself because you're playing against perennial backups in 2s and 3s. So you have to temper it. His own words. Another thing with Quinyon. Quinyon's first look at pro action. Excellent. Good. Made plays. Saw what the game tempo looked like versus Toledo. You know what you look like, and you know what you look for a player like Trotter or Quinyon Mitchell. What's the one thing you look for? Do they look like they're out of place when they're on the field? Did it look like It was too big a moment for him. And it didn't. You know, you get into a game. Hey, dude, when you play in a football game and you're playing against the Florida Gators, and get this, I'm getting ready to play against the Florida Gators on a Friday. My situation was the weirdest thing in NFL history. I'm getting ready to play the Gators on Friday. I'm lining up against Walter Payton and the Bears 48 hours later. I could not believe the amount of game tempo and speed the league had compared to college football. 48 hours. I'm playing against the Bears on Sunday at Tampa Stadium. You're like, shit. This is pretty quick. Not playing starters while installing a new offense is crazy. Andy always had five starting at quarterback. Hey, and Sean, Mahomes played this weekend too because he wanted to do some installations for the Chiefs offense, and they played him. And they played him. Click the join button to become a JAKIB member. Thank you, Prince. I really appreciate that, man. Prince putting this out there for you guys too, man. This is really cool, and we thank Prince a lot for doing that. Thank you, brother. Sills, we will get to see how good Vic is. This D looks soft. It did. It did some decent things. I'll get to it in a minute here. We do not have the right personnel. Vic will need to change his scheme to field a respectable defense when 6 of the starters are just okay. That sounds about right. Okay? It sounds about right. Let me get into it more here. I thought the Ravens blew him off the ball in the first 2 drives. And that's Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in there. Now, knocking rust off? Probably. Getting acclimated? Okay. I'd rather happen there than against Green Bay, September 6th. Then it settled down. They settled it down. Okay. Nothing to get nervous. I'm not nervous about Davis and Carter. Get some reps in there. Get him out of there. Don't let him get banged up. You know? It's okay. James Bradbury's going to make this football team. You need to get used to that. He's making the football team. He gives them depth at corner, and he gives them depth at safety. He's making your team. That's a pretty big paycheck for a backup. $12 million. All those Georgia linebackers are trash cans. The only positions I'll take from Georgia is defensive tackles, cornerbacks, and maybe O-line. We'll see what this guy Brock Bowers does too, but that kid could be pretty good, Disciple. Okay? Bradbury's making your team. Keely Ringo, I'm not going to put into the category of N'Kobe. I'm going to put him in this one. He really hasn't seen a lot of reps. So you still don't really know what you have with Keely Ringo. Thanks for all these super chats, guys. Really appreciate it. You really don't know what you have with Ringo. However, he refuses to let offense get live reps. No strong-minded coach will accept this. I hate how it was put out there, too. Yeah, I didn't feel really comfortable putting our offense out, but go ahead, defense. Just shows you what they think of them. Defense needs more work. So the offense that fell apart last year against the Bucs in the playoff game didn't need work? Are you fucking crazy? You mean to tell me that team that fell apart, A.J. Brown had one 100-yard catch game in 7 weeks last year, didn't need to get back on the field and put some work in? Where'd you come off with that? Who has that mentality? It was too wet for my offensive money guys, but not my D guys? Hey, dude, I get it. The D guys need work. But you're trying to tell me your offense doesn't? Okay. Sure, okay. It's worked one of the last 3 years. Actually, it worked last year. Then when you needed it the most, it fell apart. Sales, IMO Bradbury is like having a full-size spare in the, and that's right, it is, in the trunk. Happy to have him if there's a flat. I would say early or even late in the season, having a guy like that on my team. Absolutely. LB play again. Against the 2s, 3s, yeah, okay. They did their job. Trotter, I was impressed with. Anyone else? No. How about Dean Sills? No. That guy does not impress me. This is what Vic Fangio said about that Nolan Smith sack. Yeah, the left tackle blew the assignment. He got his leg out late. And Nolan Smith did the one thing that he had to do, was cash in, and he did. Okay? It was a broken blocking assignment. Those were Vic's words. Andreas Kobe's a game day player. Like, when was this? When's he ever been a game day player, guy? Go ahead and cry, Sills. I'll let you slide today. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Again, I said Trotter looked great. Hey, dude, stop getting butthurt. If I am critical of a player and giving kudos to other players, and you don't like that I come in here and fucking gloss over all your guys, that's not what I do. I don't gloss over people beating up on people who you'll never play against. Take it from a guy who was cut. Here, let me give you a great example, personal example. So I started my last year in Tampa, 88. I probably had 30 tackles in 4 games. Made all the tackles in the world against first and second team guys. And they cut me. I led the team of tackles. You would have said I was a superstar. That's not what you're looking at. Doesn't matter. You got a problem at edge, as far as I'm concerned. Jalix Hunt, according to Vic, is coming along. Did some nice things. It's coming along. Asked about Nolan. You know what his words were? Yeah, asked him what he does best. Says he's fast. He's athletic. But here, he's improving. I got it circled here. Improving. Between Huff improving and Nolan Smith improving. From the words of your coordinator. Proving. Look at this guy. I'm awake, or you? Hey, so here, let's do this. I'm awake, or you? Who's your a problem at edge? I don't think so. Okay. Who's your top edge rusher? Who are your top 2 edge rushers? I'm awake, or you? His answer will tell you if you have a problem or not, folks. And then you answer. I won't say nothing. I won't say nothing. I won't say anything. I'll go with you. Bryce Huff's not a great pass rusher. He had a really good year. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Sills, with the O-line depth, would you trade a piece for defense or wide receiver 3? I think they're probably going to go another week and see what they got at wide receiver 3. Guys, please hit the like button. Thank you guys, man. I can't thank you enough. Xander's going to join us at 3:30. We're waiting. Hopefully we're able to catch up with Gary Cobb at 4:30, like we always do each and every single Monday. So we got a ton of stuff to hit on. Believe me. Nolan Smith improving at what exactly? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. I listened to people on IP and 97.5, and even our guys. I didn't watch the same game you watched. I watched guys that were going against backups. And again, you have to always temper that because it's fool's gold. It's wild how much more instinctive Trotter's been than Dean, or at least no, you're right. Surgical, you're right. He's a better instinctive player. He's always around the ball. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Absolutely. That's a pretty good call down there, Kyle. Called the Dolphins up. University of Miami. He's a dear friend of mine. Jalen Phillips. I love the kid. Holtz Hunt looks good for someone everyone said is completely a project. He's looking better too, James. Yes. Huff looked trash again. Versus second teamers. My hot take is looking better for Hunt, having more of an impact. I didn't think that was possible, but you could be right. Okay? You could be right. He's coming along. Seals, we seem to have a lot of players on D that can take advantage of an offense mistake. We don't appear to have D players who cause mistakes. You mean playmakers? Well, Gardner Johnson's hurt. So you got to wait for that kind of thing to kind of, play itself out a little bit. Smile or laugh just once, Sills. Just checking. Hey, my wife says that too, brother. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. Sills just joined. Did you see the Reddick news? I did, and thank you, Trey, very much for coming aboard, man, and joining us. You'll have a lot of fun here with us, Trey. We'll go back and forth, and we appreciate your insights too as well. I did. You know what, though, Trey? Isn't it to me like it's like crying wolf? How many times is he going to demand a trade? After a while, I'm going to go, sit the fuck down. You're going to play or you're not going to play. You have no leverage. And you're going to cost yourself a year of service. You ain't missing this year. He's already been fined over almost like $1 million in fines. Come on, man. Where are you going? Jets have total autonomy in this. Do you understand that when he becomes he doesn't become a free agent if he doesn't play and he's not on the active roster? The Jets get him again. Jets can play this game as much as he wants to play. He's not a free agent at the end of this year if he's not on the active roster. You know why? That's why they did that. It doesn't count against the service clock. If the Eagles have no pass rushers, who do they get? August 12th? That's a little tough one. You'd have to make a trade. You'd have to make a total trade if you're going to go and do something like that, Bald Eagle. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Did it seem like the Ravens didn't run a lot of plays, though, at the Eagle defense? How many plays did they have? Like 50? I got to tell you, when you're assessing so many players for starting roles, especially on defense, how many plays did they have in that game? Did the Ravens throw at the Eagles? 55? What was the amount of total plays? That's not a lot. I mean, look, and remember something. Punt, kickoff, those count as plays. So you got to probably take about 15 or 20 of those because there were a ton of 3 and outs. So you take about 20 plays for the Ravens off that, 15 to 20 plays. Then you go from there. How many plays did the Ravens throw at that defense, really, in a way? Yeah, I'm not talking about the Eagles, Mr. International. I'm talking about the Ravens versus the Eagle defense. How many total plays did the Ravens have? Because then you get a good sense, too. I mean, was there a lot of a sample size? Right? You know, I mean, can you get a true evaluation? That game was just terrible, I thought. Sills, did you ask Vrabel about Harold Landry? He's working with, I think, the Browns right now. So it's kind of tough to get a conversation going with him. Big Pickens said like 40 or something. 48. Dude, JM, you take like 20 plays of special teams away, you got about 48 plays. Or maybe even less, like 40. Is that a lot? I don't think so. They really didn't play a lot of plays in that game. So the most you could possibly have had, what could Nolan Smith have had? 20 plays? Is that enough to give a good evaluation? I don't know. Versus 2s and 3s, you had 20 plays. You're probably going to get more of an evaluation with this controlled scrimmage against New England this week on Tuesday. Look at this. JM says 78 for the Eagles and 48 for the Ravens. JM, is that also counting special teams? Because if you got to take 20 plays out, I mean, plays out of that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Gary Cobb's good for 4:30, Xander. We can send that link to him, so thank you. You don't really get a good sense. Right? Yeah, so Xander, we can Gary Cobb 4:30, folks. Fox 29. He was at the game too, by the way, in Baltimore. Oh, let me go back a little bit on Mekhi Becton. He goes like this, Mekhi Becton, man. Long arms, dog. Dude's a horse. You know what Milton also said about having Clint hurt? He goes, that guy is no shit, man. He teaches you how to play in space. And what a smart coordinator he is. What a gift having him as my D-line coach. This guy's been a coordinator in this league for a long time. And to hear him talking to us like this, dude, you have 2 defensive coordinators on your defense. That's how experienced your coaching staff is this year defensively compared to what that shit thing was last year. A complete upgrade. Complete upgrade. Complete upgrade from a year ago. Complete upgrade. Cam Jurgens. It's very clear. Cam Jurgens is going to have very little in pass protection. He was asked the question, and Cam Jurgens goes, well, we're working together, so to speak, but Jalen's pretty much handling it. So Jalen is taking control of that. And if you're a coach, yeah, I want him to. I want him to. Because that's how he's going to get better. Do you have a problem not sharing information with Cam? I'm not saying he's not. Because you got to be on the same page. It's a new center snap quarterback exchange stuff that Jalen hasn't had in 3 years. Brand new. He asked, of course you're going to communicate with him. Prince, I missed the super chat. You missed my super chat. Xander, did I miss one of Prince's super chats? I didn't think I did. Oh, okay, I did. Kenny sucked. He was late on the throw and under. Kenny flick it, baby. He moved the sticks. He moved the sticks. Yes, sir. He moved the sticks. He says it looks like they're settling in on Becton being over on the right side. Can he flick it? So Kelsey gives him some insight from what I'm hearing. Okay. This kid Tyler Steen, though, dude. Come on, son. Not seeing it, man. Okay, not seeing it. He goes like this: be prepared. We're going to see a lot of exotic blitzes early in the year, and we're prepared for that. Joe Douglas informed Reddick he will not be traded and will continue to be fined for the CBA, according to Adam Schefter. Hey. Hey, Mr. Hong Kong Fu, he can do whatever he wants. He ain't fucking going anywhere. Whoa. Whoa. This guy's going to have to go to a dojo pretty soon. He put some spell on Joe Douglas. Whoa. Or go to Mr. Fuji. Hey, Danielson. Hassan. Wipe on. Wipe off. Wipe on. Wipe off. Hey, come on, Hassan. Better go find me a bonsai here, dog, because that's the only thing you're going to be working here, man, is looking for a bonsai tree somewhere. Sweep the leg. Give him the crow. Hey, that's Reddick trying to give Joe Douglas the crow. Whoa. Whoa. Mr. Miyagi. Thank you, Kyle. I didn't have my reference correct. Thank you. Mr. Miyagi. Hit the like button, fellas. I appreciate it. And gals, thank you so much. Didn't mean to insult Sue. Thank you. So, no, man. Some good shit here. Here's Tanner McKee. Then we'll get to Nikki. Bonsai. Bonsai Reddick. Bonsai. Hey, just remember this. Only a Jet, like Jody McDowell and all them dudes, could appreciate it being a Jet nightmare. Because only the Jets can have shit like that happen to them. Always remember, too, when your two most famous people are Fireman Ed, a guy who hits himself in the head with a hammer, and Joe Namath. Hey, Super Bowl three. Yeah, Super Bowl III. Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. The last time they were decent. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins, Apollo 11 for all you youngsters. You know? The Reddick has landed. The Reddick has landed. Man. Here's Tanner McKee. I like him. By the way, if you're passing out Academy Awards for being able to handle the microphone for the three quarterbacks, including Hurts, Tanner McKee's the best guy behind the mic. I like him. He's really good behind the mic. Must be that Stanford bullshit, because he's pretty good behind the mic. You know, I mean, I like him. There's a lot to like about him. Fake moon landing. Andreas goes, dude, the world's flat and no one landed on the moon. Kyrie Irving and you, brother. You got it covered. We're good. He said this, man. He said that Kellen Moore's offense is always situational, making you have to think. You get to the line of scrimmage. Oh, yeah, there it is. The keys that Kellen says, he goes, when you come to the line of scrimmage, he's got 3-4 keys for you to look at. And he goes, oh, yeah, I see what he's saying. There it is. There's like these 3 keys or 4 keys that you'll see in a Kellen Moore offense. And you get a chance to audible out of that, or you get a chance to audible something in different, which is great. Gives the quarterbacks the autonomy to find the open guy, which means, what did we say 2 weeks ago? Everybody's an eligible, open opportunity. This guy's better than I thought. At least schematically. We'll see situationally. There's a difference. Okay? Brian Johnson didn't suck last year. Everybody had career years. But situationally, he was terrible. Now, was that a lot of Nick? Probably. Okay? He said he thought he ran a smooth operation. Like the song, too. He said it was smooth. Some still things we can work out. But that's what Kellen's looking for. A smooth operation where, pre-snap penalties, audibling to the right call, shit like that. Okay? He said this new motion. Listen what he says here. This gives you goosebumps. This guy, Tanner McKee, is freaking smart. When Kellen Moore sends motion, you know what he's looking for? He's looking for a landmark. Send a motion. Guy will hit the landmark. He knows to go there. The motion sets the guy on the backside or front side. And he's looking for that particular landmark. He don't know what that landmark's going to be. Could be a backdoor, free, strong, or nickel, or dime. You don't know yet. The motion's going to dictate it. So you got to be patient. McKee's saying you're looking for those landmarks. And when Tanner explains it way better than Hurts, this Kellen Moore offense, even better than Kenny Pickett. He's like, yeah, man, when you move a guy, you send him in motion, and all of a sudden there will be the landmark, and you see it. Tanner McKee has a big arm, but you know what he also has? This guy's smart as shit, man. And the more I'd give him more reps. I want to see what he can do. He moves around in a pocket a little bit like Roethlisberger. He's got a gun like him, too. He's smarter than Big Ben, I would think. Then again, a rock is smarter than Big Ben. I just, and you know what else he does, too, in the pocket that's pretty cool? He stands with poise. He stands tall. He's 6'6" as it is. He stands with great poise back there. I mean, he's looking downfield. You can always tell, look, those young quarterbacks that, have that head down, they're looking to get hit. And quarterbacks that are looking downfield like that, you know what an offensive lineman sees on film? When you see something like that, my quarterback's looking to make a play downfield. When you got a quarterback that got his head down like this, he's looking to escape. Offensive line knows that guy's not going to hand and stand in the pocket. Is it a lack of courage? Maybe a little. But you got a quarterback looking downfield, he's going to get annihilated. Even on some great throws, he's going to. How many times you see Brady get crushed making those big passes down the field? Offensive line, man, they want to block for guys with courage in the pocket. This kid's got a little bit of that. Okay? I'm awake, are you? Goes, I've never heard you mention McKee. Yeah, because I haven't seen him play much. And he really looks good in this system. Okay? I mean, just keep developing him. Still, should Tanner start this week over Pickett? Yeah, I'd want to get him more reps. I know what Pickett is. Okay? When I want to see more out of him. I want to see this kid. Put him in there against some better people. Okay? Put him out there. Just let me see what he's got. I want to see more. Hey, by the way, am I saying he should? I don't know. I just want to see more of him. I want to see more. What's his name says he mocked Tanner on Friday. No, I mocked you. He's throwing to nobodies and completing passes. Mr. International says, I know. I want to see him out there again versus some people. Let's take a look at him out there with some better people. Yeah. Now let's get to Nick Sirianni. Oh, by the way, did you hear that press conference? And did you hear that asshole Howard Eskin? So, Coach, how does it feel to get the win? Oh my God. How does it feel to get the win versus 2s and 3s when both teams didn't play their starters and just to get the win, Coach? What's that like? How'd that feel? Oh, man. It felt as good as that kiss you gave that chick at the Phillies game. That's how good it felt. Little rough. Oh, shit. I'm sorry I had to do it. Oh, man. Hey, Coach, how did it feel to get the win? Oh, great. You even looked at you. Did you see Nick's face, too? He's like, he took a drink of water, and he's like, let me in. I got to answer that? All right. Oh, man. Howard Munchkin. Oh, man. Holy cow. Sales called AJ the biggest crybaby in the league. He is. Man, get my money. Want to get my money? What they did. He cried and got the bank. He cried and got his money. Way to go, man. Hey, if you can cry and get your money, more power to you, too. I never at any time said the guy at all didn't deserve it. Guy's got to cry, too, man. Hey, you want my money? Howard's a good guy. Hey, Nick, how'd you feel about the win? Had to be great for you. What a provocative question. When you could have asked him anything. How did it feel for the win? Second question at the press conference. Here we go. I didn't want to play my offensive guys because it was a little wet out. What'd you play the D guys? Well, we just, there were some battles there and it's a different situation. And why don't you just say, we got a lot of new guys over there. We got new coaches over there. We got entirely new staff, pretty much. Pretty much the same staff outside of a few guys on offense. And it's a better group of veterans. Why don't you just say that instead of that meandering question or answer? Well, we got to do it. He's so dopey at a mic. Why can't you just be honest? Well, our offense didn't need it. I didn't want to get a chance of those guys getting hurt. And the defensive guys were all new over there. They need to work. They had to work. Every guy in the room would be okay with that. Instead, it's, we got to do this. And, it's a little bit newer there, but, we just, we were careful, I didn't play BG. You're not going to play BG there in the year anyway this year. I was like, he can't tell the truth to save his life. I agree with him on this, though. I thought even though they were going against 2s and 3s, I did think that the players played with some physicality, and they played hard. They ran to the ball, threw the ball. I didn't think they were. I didn't think they was a lack of effort. It's funny listening to Nick Sirianni talk about Nolan Smith and Vic Fangio Here's Vic Fangio talking about Nolan Smith. Yeah, the offensive tackle blew an assignment. He got late getting out there. Nolan cashed in, okay? But at the end of the day, what was the word? He's improving. And here's Nick blowing up Howie. Oh, man, I thought Nolan Smith played great. Funny how Vic doesn't see it that way. How is Brown the biggest baby when you have Reddick? I never heard Reddick crying on the Eagle team a year ago. Yeah, I mean, because you know why? Nick's got to kiss Howie's ass. Vic don't. Thought the communication was good. It's kind of hard listening to him talk at a press conference when he hadn't seen the game film yet. Joint practices begin on Tuesday. So don't forget, JAKIB will join us at 4:30. Man, from Fox 29 in Philadelphia, and a guy who's doing, by the way, man, you see all those videos? You see all those videos the guys were putting out on our network over the weekend? What a great job, man. Reddick was literally crying behind the scenes. I never heard that. What's your source? Because he's not here? Actually, I heard Merrill Reese saying that he was a wonderful Eagle, and all the players loved him, and everyone in the locker room loved him. What do you know, Bald Eagle, that Merrill Reese doesn't know? All right. Guys, done a great job with John McMullen on Birds 365. Our friend Xander Kraus, you can catch him every morning with that show, Birds 365, and he joins us here right now. Xander, what's up, man? Great weekend in football last week. A lot of teams got a chance. Jaden Daniels was a star. Wow.
What's up, Big Shells? How you doing on this Monday, man? Good to be with you.
Wow, did he look good, man? That kid's going to be a superstar, Jaden Daniels, man. How about Jordan Love?
What's your Commander win prediction?
10.
10?
10.
When's the last time the Washington Commanders won 10 ball games?
When's the last time the Lions won a playoff game?
That's true. I'm not saying that that's a reason they're not going to win 10. I'm asking the question genuinely.
Oh shit. Marty. Oh gee. Gibbs.
They haven't won 10 games in the last 10 years.
No way.
No
way.
Redskins record last 20 years. They won 10 games in 2005, 10 games in 2012.
Under who? Who was the head coach?
In 2012?
Was that Shanahan? I mean, was that Shanahan? I think that was Shanahan.
Redskins 2012 was, Shanahan. Mike Shanahan.
Yep.
Mike 10-6.
All right, Xander. Hold on, folks. I got to take my glasses off and take some of the green off my glasses here for a second here. Xander, what was your takeaway from the game on Friday night?
I thought there was a lot of positives, not too many negatives, just because I don't know how many negatives you can take from a dang preseason game. But I thought a couple guys looked good that you wanted to look good. I thought you had a couple of surprising guys look good as well in Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I thought Nakobe Dean looked all right, which is a positive sign after his training camp. Letdowns, I thought the first team defense was a major letdown. I thought, look, you only played one series or whatever it was. You're not going to overreact to it, but no. Bryce Huff was nowhere again. I mean, he was like non-existent. The pass rush was really nothing on that first drive. Overall, though, I thought the offensive line was a big positive, even on that second and third string. And I thought the running backs were a great positive. I thought Kenny Gainwell looked strong in those first couple possessions, and I thought Will Shipley ran the ball hard. So those are my big positives. Johnny Wilson was meh. I mean, he did some good things good, some things not so good. wide receiver 3, I think you're still going to need a guy, but overall, I thought it was a good game. I mean, I'm happy we got the win. If you're going to play, right, you want to win. That's anything in life, and got the win. Jake Elliott gets redeemed, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's preseason. It doesn't excite me all that much, to be honest.
And I'll say this: if you're keeping score, I want to win too. So I'm with you here. I mean, James is right. Goddard getting hurt is a little scary, and I think Calcaterra's had a pretty good camp, though. I kind of disagree with that a little bit, James. But that position, man, for the last couple of years has been injury prone for Philly. They've got to shake that, dude. They've just got to shake that here. Big Sexual Sills, Washington winning the NFC East this year. How you doing, baby? Hey, that's what you call balls.
Shooter is delusional. The only person more delusional than Sileo here is Shooter.
Yeah, okay. You want to know what delusional is? Bryce Huff. That's delusional.
I got no rebuttal. No rebuttal to the Bryce Huff comment.
I'll tell you what. Were we not right on this one, Xander? That damn Trevor Keegan, man. He can play, dude.
You know what? I'm a little pissed.
Play.
I'm pissed at Johnny Mack because when he was drafted, I came on the draft show and I'm all jacked up. I'm like, this dude is a beast. 30-plus starts at Michigan, captain for 3 out of 4 years, national champion. He comes in. I mean, he had a great game in that Friday night game. Now, it's limited reps, and he's playing for second and third team guys, so you got to add all the context. But I think he's going to be a good player in this league, and we'll see how quickly he can get out there. He's behind Landon Dickerson, so he's not getting in over there. But does he have a chance to play on the right side? Maybe. I mean, that spot seems to be open. I know they like Becton, and they're moving closer to Becton being the guy. But we're gonna see. I'm not very sold on Tyler Steen. So maybe if Keegan can get up to speed quickly, he can play that right. But that's a big switch too, right, from left to right. So he's played mostly left, I believe, in his career.
I think you asked one of the most important questions that no one has asked anybody about Mekhi Becton, because you went like this.
Yeah,
hey, man, it's one thing. Okay, so he's the lead dog right now on the sled, and he's in the front at the Iditarod. But how does he look? Does he look like he plays the role? And maybe that's one of the reasons, too, Xander, that they haven't been committed to sitting there going like this, that he's the guy, because how does he look over there? And I watched him play, and I'm like, I think he's okay over there. I mean, I didn't – but does he look like Isaac Seumalo? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, we'll see. I don't know what Becton's going to be, but he only played one series, so he was kind of treated like that starter in that game. So I don't know. It seems like they're moving forward with him. I also don't want to be naive and think I know more than Jeff Stoutland. So if he wants to put Becton there, I'm going to have to believe him until my eyeballs tell me he's lying or he's not right. So, I feel all right about that position. It's not great, but it is what it is. I thought the backup offensive line was a positive, so it made me feel better about the depth,
Absolutely.
They had some big holes out there for those running backs. Yeah.
No, they did. Nick's going to go to Kellen Moore's office with ideas, and he's writing them down on a snitch pad. Kellen Moore's response, "This is my team now." A snitch pad? I'll tell you one thing, man. You're right about this kid. I'll tell you one thing, okay? This guy knows what he's doing with those blitzes, man. Holy cow, we got the legend himself rolling in here. Philly 500, man.
The GOAT.
What up, Big Sills? What up, Xander? How about my boy Trotter Jr.? Give back.
He was on fire, Philly 500.
Do his work. Dallas still stinks. Hey, get Mark some Prozac. They look fucking terrible to the Cowboys. Holy shit.
Cowboys look terrible as predicted, 500, as you've been saying on the show every single week.
I said the Cowboys won 5 games.
Great stuff from Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I thought he looked great, Big Sills. He seems to be way ahead of where even the biggest eagle-colored glasses guys would have projected him to be at this point in his career. He looks like an NFL backer. He might not be a top guy, but he looks like a guy that can play in an NFL defense. Great to see from Trotter Jr. And yes, Philly 500. Dallas still stinks.
I'd make
Sills, have you ever seen Philly 500 do that? No, you've never seen. See, I knew he hasn't seen a 500. He's never seen your signature Dallas still stinks. I can't do it. Nobody can do it like 500. It's incredible.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. When I watched Trotter play, no false steps.
Yeah.
He fills the gap. He's instinctive. He's 10 times more instinctive than Nakobe will ever be. Dean's probably a better athlete. But remember, this guy ran a 4.8 or something. He's not fast. So you know what his dad probably told him? You can't make mistakes with poor footwork in the middle. He makes up for it because you know what he does? Xander, Trotter looks faster out there than even what Dean does.
Yeah,
and
because
he makes up with it with his technique.
Yeah. No, Dean. Well, Dean is kind of instinctive too. He's that's not his deficiency. That's Devin White's deficiency. Is he plants his foot the wrong way, and then he's so far out of the play, he's never going to get back in it. But yeah, I mean, overall, if anybody is in here and they listen to Birds 365, Johnny Mack has taken a blowtorch to this linebacking core the last 4 or 5 days. I mean, he has shredded this thing from top to bottom about how bad they are.
They are.
He basically said they can't be as bad as I'm thinking they're going to be. That's how bad I think they're going to be. So, yeah, Johnny Mack has been absolutely shredding the linebackers. That's why I'm like, hey, look, if Trotter Jr. can play, man, rip the Band-Aid off and put him out there,
Yeah, Jeremiah Trotter's getting coached twice on the field and off by his dad, is moving it along faster. Yeah, you know your dad, you're doing this. Prince, this is what you're doing. You're listening to your coaches and your linebacker coach, and you're listening to Jeff, or you're listening to Vic. Then your pop is putting on a Zoom with you at night going, what did they tell you? And you know what the dad's doing? He's dissecting what they're telling you and what that means while you're in camp. It's really, he's telling them they like you. Keep doing it. And so, because you never know when you're a young player where you are in the depth chart and what the players are doing. But the more, here's the key, the more reps you get, the more that team likes you. Let me tell you this about Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell. Here's the difference why you still dump on Dean. Dean's seen game tempo. He's seen all this shit, and he still looks the same to me. That guy will not. I mean, 2s and 3s and baggage handlers. Sorry, kid, you didn't move the needle for me Friday night. However, Trotter did, and I'll tell you why Mitchell did. Because Mitchell, the only other time he's seen game tempo was in Toledo, and he got on the field. He got beat on a deep out once. I think he got beat. Then after that, he settled down, and I thought he made some really good plays. He hung with the receivers, albeit the receivers were 2s and 3s. But you know what I really liked about him and Trotter? The moment wasn't too big for them when they got out there on the field, and it didn't look like they didn't fit in. You know what I'm saying, Xander?
Exactly
sometimes when you put a guy out there, you put him out there, and he looks like he doesn't fit in. Okay?
Yeah, no
these
doubt
guys
about it.
fit in, and Mitchell's a good player, man.
Oh, Mitchell's going to be a great player. Mitchell's going to be a very good player. He is fundamentally sound. He looks, I mean, he's got some work to do. Obviously, he's a rookie, but you know, he looks like a good prospect. You can't make too many assumptions yet, but he looks like he looks like he's going to be great, at least in my opinion. That's how he looks to me. I thought that jumped route in the preseason game was great. He watched that quarterback all the way, knew exactly where he was going. And then back to Trotter, your point on Trotter, you know, most fifth round rookies, they come in here, right? And they have to learn.
Yeah.
Jeremiah comes in here because he's been coached by his father his whole life. You know, and that's an NFL caliber player. This isn't a high school coach. This isn't a college coach. This is a guy who is, you know, a star linebacker in the NFL who's coaching him up on instant. You know, we wonder why Jeremiah Trotter's so instinctive. He knows exactly where to go. He's got so many indicators out there on that field before the snap is even called, you know, before they even say hike. And he knows exactly where they're going. And that's given him a major leg up, I believe, at that position so far.
And I will tell you flat out, let's play the political angle of this. It's one of Howie's favorite draft picks. And on top of that, the last name, you know, even though he went in the 5th round, Xander, he's being treated like a first rounder when it comes to getting the reps. I'm not saying he's not earning them. I'm not saying that at all. But he's going to get
started with the 3rd team.
I'm not saying he's not earning his place in the room.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, now you could also argue, I mean, if you want to play devil's advocate, you could also argue it's because the top of the roster is so shitty at linebacker. So he's moving up. But it's still a nod to him. I mean, yeah, Devin White's a first-round pick. Nakobe Dean was a 3rd-round pick, and he's by many accounts looked better than those guys. And then when you got on the field, I thought he looked great on the field. I mean, he had the most tackles, I think, of any linebacker, and he had a sack out there. He just looked good. He looks like a natural kind of. So we're going to see on him. I'm getting very excited about Trotter Jr. though, for sure.
Okay, so like Sunday will be 3 weeks on Cooper DeJean. What's up with that? Is John tell you anything about him coming back or not? Where are we?
They haven't gotten any update on when he's coming back. They're just kind of waiting on that period to end up. But I'm going to talk to John about it tomorrow for sure. Get his take on where Cooper is. But he last time I asked him, he basically said we don't know anything more other than they said 3 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. So he's been out there every day though. He's out there every day. Obviously not in pads or anything, but he's taking in practice. He's doing some things over there on the sideline and tossing the ball around, and he's been out there. So they've seen him. It's not like he's been out of sight, out of mind completely, but it's time for him to get back, or else the longer he misses right now, the more he's going to set himself back in season. So I think he'll be back probably this week would be my projection. Got to be, right?
Remember I told you bye week is when you start to see him. That's where I think that after the bye.
I don't know, man. It could switch quick. Here's the thing, though. Look, if you got a regular,
he may get back quicker.
If you have a young or a regular or a normal defensive coordinator, yeah, you're probably right. If you got Vic Fangio and that guy's out there looking half decent, he's going to get tossed in there and he'll get acclimated quickly. Look at the last 3 weeks of Quignon. Look at the last 3 weeks of Trotter Jr. Trotter Jr. 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, was on the third team. Now he's the second and third linebacker. Getting plays out there, getting reps out there with the ones, he's getting mixed in. So, Fangio is going to let the best guys elevate. If Cooper DeJean comes back and he's the best slot cornerback, I bet you he'll be out there. And it wouldn't surprise me if he was out there for week 1. But in order for that to happen, he's got to get back now. He's got to get back this week.
What's Shipley's role on this team?
I don't know. I thought he looked good, though. In the
game.
I thought, the one thing I liked about Will Shipley a lot is I thought
he can pass protect.
That too. And there's a lot of things you like in the game, but that's all, you can break that down. I think there's a part of Will Shipley, an intangible about him that you can't coach, where he brings a physical nature, a physical style of running, a fearless style, if you will. And I think that has a big impact on an offense. I am so sick of the guys who are so afraid of contact and are shifty and they want to juke. Like Will Shipley's not the biggest guy in the room, and he's ready to run through somebody. I love that mentality for a running back, and I think it's going to serve him well in terms of getting on the field. It's kind of like Boston Scott. Wasn't the biggest dude, but he wasn't afraid of nothing, and that's why he got reps here for so many years. Wasn't the best guy in the room, wasn't the prettiest guy in the room, wasn't any of that, in terms of playing on the football field, but he got out there because he could run somebody over and was willing to do it. I thought Will Shipley brought that type of energy, and I was intrigued by it, Big Sills.
I'm going to say this to you, dude. I'm going to do something with a little blasphemy here. Man, he has a lot of the Brian Westbrook intangibles. Like he runs in between the tackles, he pass protects, catches. He's smart as hell, like Brian was. Now look. Once again, when you say skill set, you're not saying he is that guy, but that's the prototype that you're looking for. Look at San Francisco. Look at Alvin Kamara. Look at all these running backs that you're talking about that they're looking for that type of skill set. If Brian Westbrook played in today's NFL, him and McCaffrey would go back and forth with being the two best players at those positions. But again, when you're looking at him, I look at him, and he's got a lot of the same skill set stuff that Brian did. Now, look, will he be that guy? That is an absolute Mount Everest to climb. But I'll tell you what, man, I like the way he blocked, caught, the toughness he ran, like you said, in between the tackles. I want to give him more reps this camp. I want to give him more reps Tuesday. I want to give him more reps in the next exhibition game. I want to see what this guy's made of. Is he like Devontae? Can he take the contact and survive? My problem with him is he going to be a guy because of his size that's not a big dude and can't take the contact and I can't build my offense around? Or is he somebody that I can really rely on? Because I'll tell you what, Gainwell's had a pretty good camp.
Yeah, Gainwell's had a great camp too. And we'll see on Shipley. I'm not going to go the route you went calling him Brian Westbrook.
I said skill set.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I know what you said. But no, I'm not going. Yeah, I mean, look, I like the guy. I think he's he was one of the guys I didn't love coming out of the draft, and I've liked him so far through camp and that preseason game. But we'll see what he does. Let's see what he does. He might have a very limited role this year. You might not even see him much. So might be just one of those things where he impressed you in camp and you stash him, and he's a guy who's used probably more next year than anything. But yeah,
You
we'll
think
see.
he makes a 53-man roster?
Shipley for sure, 100%. Who are they going to keep?
No, you're not. You're not
keeping two running backs.
No. What I'm saying, well, Gainwell would be the second guy.
Well, yeah, you're not only going to keep two.
No, but what I'm saying is you don't put him on the practice squad. Somebody gobble that guy's ass up in a second. I mean,
he's going to make the roster.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anais Smith should not.
Anais. I'm awake. Says, come on, Zay. What are you talking about? I'm awake. What are you saying, brother? Come on, hit me with some facts.
That kid Smith stinks.
Anais Smith has been terrible. I mean, everybody has said it. Everybody we've had on Birds 365 has said it. Has said Anais Smith has stunk out loud. And so I don't know if I should say this. So I got something off the record. I probably shouldn't say it, but so one of the players out there was chirping Anais Smith very hard, ruthlessly. Did not care at all about his feelings, about where he was drafted, about none of that. Basically told him, you better get your shit together, young man, or you're going to be off this football team. And that's from another player who told him that. So I don't want to say too much more because I got that off the record, but pretty funny.
Gardner Johnson, man, I'll tell you what, baby. One thing you don't want to have is you don't want to have
Gardner Johnson in your face.
You don't want Gardner Johnson chirping at you, man, on the sidelines because that guy has no fucking filter.
Yeah.
And let me just say something to you, man. I heard that people heard that guy from one sideline to the end of the other side of the
absolutely destroyed.
He was screaming, "Hey, son, you better get your head out of your ass, or you ain't gonna be here long."
Yeah.
He's saying it like that. To get this, the entire sideline went silent.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty fun. Though the sentence I got from John was good. It was. I was like, damn, he hit him with that out there on the practice field. So, yeah, CJ Gardner Johnson brings the heat, no doubt. Everybody called it out in the chat instantly.
Hey, I fucking talked to Clint. Clint goes, "Hey, man, you know that Gator guy?" And I go, "Yeah, Gardner Johnson." He goes, "Man, he was just chirping." And I went like this. I go, "Chirping at
He's
who?"
ruthless, man.
He goes, "That guy Smith, man, he was in his ass." And he got wrecked right up behind him. He goes like this, Hey, little birdie, you ain't gonna be here." I mean, he was relentless on him. And I'll
tell you what though about CJ, I love it, right? I love the talk. I love it. I love forcing your guys to be bigger, to be better, to live up to their expectation. But CJ, you better perform too, my man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're already on the sideline.
No shit, you're chirping in the tub.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you played 3 ball games last year. You want to play 3 ball games and talk like that on this team? That's not going to work. So, I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying, look, you want to talk like that? That's great.
No, that's fair.
You better go out there and deliver the goods yourself because that's what people are going to be looking to you for if you want to talk to them like that. So. No, but I love it. It's great stuff. I mean, it's a little camp action, a little camp chirping out there. But yeah, Gardner Johnson's pretty ruthless.
How about this? Do you think the number 3 wide receivers on this team right now?
The what was that? Who's the number 3?
The number 3 wide receiver is on this team right now.
This team. I don't. Okay.
Now remember what you're looking for there. We're not looking for a star. You're looking for dependable.
Yeah, you can't have a star.
No. Can Britton Covey be dependable there?
Crash test. Oof. Did
you see that one?
Did you see that one play where he caught the bubble screen? And I'm like, oh, good play. He gets around the first guy, makes the first guy miss, gets up to the first down, and then bang, dude just gets clipped low, and he flips up, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. He's 5'6", 5'7", whatever he is not going to be able to take that type of beating all year. I don't care who you are. Physics doesn't allow it. I don't know. I like Covey, but I don't see him being the consistent wide receiver 3. I thought Johnny Wilson brought a good element, but he's going to have his rookie struggles. I think you're going to see your fair share of them. But if I had to say I would say they're probably going to go with what they have over going and getting somebody. Unless, they get to week 4 at the bye week and they're like, man, we need a wide receiver 3. But here's the problem with it. I mean, I know you need one. I'm not saying you don't need one. I'm just saying when you look at the order of the offense, you have AJ, you have Devontae, you have Dallas Goedert, you have Saquon Barkley, you have Kenny Gainwell, you also have Calcaterra because they're running a lot of 12 personnel who's pretty good at catching. And now Shipley, who's the third back. But they're not all going to be at the field every time, but let's say 4 of them are. Brown, Smith, Goddard, Barkley, rotate them through. I mean, this is a guy who's going to see the ball 30 times in the year, 35, 40 times tops. So I don't think you need, maybe you do feel okay with Covey and Wilson and Paris Campbell, in that role.
They have to be dependable. I'm just looking
They have to be dependable. I think Britton Covey's dependable if he's on the field. He can catch the ball. He can get open. If you have 3rd and 6 and you need a guy to get open past the sticks, I would trust Britton Covey to get open. He can move. He's very shifty, but if one safety gets one linebacker gets their hands on that guy in the right spot, that'll be the end of Britton Covey. So, that's my fear with him, but we'll see. I would lean to yes, he's on the roster, and they're going to go with what they have.
You ever been to Denny's for food? You ever been to Denny's?
Yeah, back when I used to play travel hockey growing up.
Okay,
I would travel with my one buddy.
Did you like the Grand Slam?
The Grand Slams when you get eggs and bacon and pancakes and everything. Is that what it is?
The pancake should be called the Nolan Smith.
Okay.
Okay. Did you? Oh. I was like, holy shit, man. I thought he got submitted. I thought I was watching Olympic wrestling. Man, I tell you, man, your edge rushers, dog. You got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do, son.
Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff. How about the Hassan Reddick stuff, by the way? Did you see that? Oh, no, you've been on the show. So about 45 minutes.
I've heard what's happened here. He's like,
about an hour ago. Yeah, it's an official report came out. He's now requested a trade from the Jets. I'm like, Howie should turn around, say, thank you for the 3rd. Here's a 7th and James Bradbury. Now F off and give me my edge rusher back.
Hey, can get a mulligan on that deal?
Yeah, that's what the Jets are asking for. They gave up a 3rd. Now it's not going to become a 2nd. Everybody was excited it could be a 2nd. It's definitely not going to become a 2nd. But look, we got a 3rd round pick in the future for him, and I don't know. The Samurai man, I'm kind of over him at this point. If you can get him back and pay him the same money, or pay him what Bryce Huff,
why not
pay him what Bryce Huff's making? Why can't you pay him what Bryce Huff is making?
Yeah,
that's what I would like. That's what I'd be willing to do.
No, I completely agree, man. Hey, man, the job that Kellen Moore did, the way that he called the plays, man, I really like that. Get this, these words. Let me get that word that Tanner McKee used, man. And I'd love
you like Tanner
McKee. If you're talking about quarterbacks that win when it comes to talking in front of
you know who was terrible?
What's that?
Kenny Pickett was terrible.
Kenny Pickett was flicking it, baby.
Kenny
James got what's his name in the end zone. They scored.
Kenny Pickett looked terrible. Big cells.
Tanner McKee wasn't.
Nah, Tanner McKee's got an arm on him, man. He can throw that ball.
Listen what he said too, man, about Kellen. He goes, his motions create landmarks. I'm back there in the pocket and I go, oh, that's what he's talking about. So this guy is like absorbing this offense as good as anybody. I mean, he's like, yeah, because when he uses motion, there's going to be 3 different landmarks you're going to look for. And he's explaining it. And he goes, oh, there it is again. There it is. He goes, throughout the entire time I was out there, I started seeing it. I want to see him get more reps, dude. Dude, I don't know how good he can be, but I think he's got a big arm. And you know what I love about him too? He stands in the pocket, Xander, and he stands tall. You know what I mean?
If anybody who's listened to this show for the last 3 years, they know that's your style of quarterback. 6'6" and stands in the pocket with a big arm. We know, Big Sills, that's.
Oh, no. You're here. I was saving this for later, but I'll do it just for shits and giggles here. Dan Orlovsky from ESPN wrote this down. If he was picking the top 10 quarterbacks with arm strength, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Stafford, Rodgers, Will Levis, give me a break, Mayfield, Richardson, Dak, and Lamar. If you're going on ball placement, Burrow, Tua, Mahomes, Stafford, Stroud, Purdy, Geno Smith, Dak, Goff, and Allen. Jesus, first two lists, I haven't seen any Hurts here. Mechanics: Burrow, Stafford, Herbert, Stroud, Dak, Goff, Tua, Rodgers, Purdy, Lawrence. Decision-making: Rodgers, Stafford, Burrow, Stroud, Purdy, Love, Mahomes, Dak, Goff, Cousins. Holy shit, where's Hurts? Pocket presence: Mahomes, Burrow, Stroud, Stafford, Lamar, Purdy, Love, Allen, Geno, Dak. Rushing ability: there we go. Lamar, Allen, Richardson, Hurts, Fields, Mahomes, Dak, Burrow, Murray, and Lawrence. Nobody thinks your guy is a pocket passer for sure. The rest of those guys,
How many
those are
Super
the
Bowl? How
guys
many?
that
How
they
many of
look
those
at as being the
quarterbacks?
top flight quarterbacks.
How many of those quarterbacks you just rattled off to me have won a Super Bowl?
I'll name you all those quarterbacks that are making all $50 million.
I don't care about that. I care about the ones that won a Super Bowl.
Okay, one. Oh, two. Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers and Mahomes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you saying?
I'm saying that, geez, at least give me a chance to win one.
No, it's just not our style of quarterback. He did a list of he broke down every metric about a pocket passing quarterback, and Jalen Hurts isn't on there. No duh. That's not what Jalen Hurts is. He's not a pocket passing quarterback.
Yes, sir. That's pretty evident there. I absolutely
Wait, we
agree.
missed a super chat. Also, JM, I don't drink wine. Are you crazy? What the hell? Handsome Hustler 88. Trade James Bradbury, Patrick Johnson, and a 2026 fifth rounder to the Jets for Reddick.
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving a fifth.
Okay. That's not
Barry.
happening. Okay. It's always the failed NFL players who hate. Hey, Prince. You mean like Doug Peterson? Failed NFL guy? You had a failed NFL guy win you a Super Bowl. How you doing?
Yes, Abraham, he did. Big Sills is taking a list from a guy that ran out of the back of his own end zone.
No, I'm taking a list from a guy who's from Connecticut.
Is he from Connecticut? I think he was down at the Jersey Shore. Shout out to the Jersey Shore. Are any of our viewers Jersey Shore goers? I'm a Jersey Shore goer. I've been going there since I was a kid. I love the Jersey Shore.
I love that Milton Williams kid, man.
Do you?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I think he's all right. I mean, I think he's a solid player. I think he's gonna have a big role this year. So, he better step it up a little bit here. And I think, I also think the other reason that you haven't seen him get an extension is I think more because of him than the Eagles. I think he said, "Let me hold out. I'm going to give a bigger role this year. I think I'm going to bet on myself here and get a big bag." Yeah. So, we'll see. But my worry is that if that is true, and he decided to, wait to get the bag of money, he might have priced himself out of Philly, so he'll be gone next year because you know how Howie likes to play. Howie likes to get done early. So,
yeah, you're not giving Milton Williams a deal before you give Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter a deal. That's not
exactly.
Tanner has done nothing but has played to the point of getting a chance. That's right. He outperformed Bum Mariota, and he's already outperforming Kenny Flickett. He's already outperforming him.
Got to dispute this guy. He says, Xander, you look like a Wildwood guy. I am not a Wildwood guy. Sorry, Farrell, but I am not a Wildwood guy. I'm a Cape May guy, baby. End of the Parkway, baby. Exit 0 all day since I was born. My grandmother bought a house here in 75, folks. Still got it. Still use that house to this day. So can't buy him what you bought him for in 75 now, folks.
Where does Dan rank? Dan O's rank of pocket presence in the gutter.
No, yeah, was he on that list? He wasn't even on that list, was he?
Okay, in the gutter. Hey, do you think they two more questions here for you, Xander? Do you think they make another move before the start of the season?
Maybe something minor. I mean, they just picked up that safety, so they pick up the safety, and I'm on. I'm talking to John, and I'm like, okay, so what'd you see from the safety? He's like, I saw him limping out there. I don't know what's going on. And this is the guy that he just failed the safety in Carolina. I'm like, what? I don't know what's happening with this guy.
He's in a boot.
Yeah, apparently he was, with Vic Fangio. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a big impact on the team or anything. But
it tells you something. They're looking to make minor moves right now. They're not looking to make major moves. And that even includes the defense. Okay. So what was your takeaway on that bullshit explanation on why the offense didn't play but the defense did? Because it was too wet and rainy for the money guys, and it wasn't too wet and rainy for the defensive guys? Why didn't Nick just say this?
Because the defense
we need
stinks
more work
out
over
loud.
there. Why didn't he just say we need more work over there? And, I don't want to put those guys out there.
But that is why they did that. It's
yeah, but that's not what he said at the press conference. I wrote all of his.
Okay, what is he, under oath? He's not under oath.
Holy cow! All he had is instead he went into this stupid fucking diatribe like, well, we got a lot of things, and then you hear Vic go, the only reason we did this was because we have brand new coaches on that side of the ball, pretty much everyone, and on the other side, everything is intact. We have those guys over there. Nothing's really changed. There's only 2 of the 9 that have been changed. On our side, we got a whole different group. Why couldn't that guy talk more like that? Vic Fangio talks more like a head coach than your own guy does.
Who cares, dude?
Oh,
You're worried about.
You know why? Because the guy is what he is. He's still a bullshit artist.
No, I just.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of Nick Sirianni, but what you're saying isn't that. What, he didn't tell you exactly why? It's obvious. The defense is nowhere near as good as the offense. We talked about it all offseason. $175 million on the offense. Stay right. I'm not putting them out there versus Josh Johnson and the backup of the Ravens. I don't care.
Defense needs more work than the offense does. We didn't want to roll those guys out. Instead, we got to. This guy won't shut his fucking mouth. He says that don't be a shit.
Look at this clown Perez in here. You think I'd go to Louisiana and say I'm allergic to nothing, Perez? Nothing.
I'm allergic to losing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm allergic to. By the way, them oil rigs out there in Louisiana, Big Sills don't dip his toe in the Gulf.
You guys want to hear a story?
I'm an Atlantic guy.
Yeah, Atlantic Ocean all the way, baby. You want to hear a story? Big Sills have finally got him out of his Dan cave one time in 4 years. So he flies in. I pick him up at the Philly airport. First, he's like walking along the train tracks. He's like, I don't see you parked. I'm like, yeah, because I'm out on the train tracks, numbnuts. So he walks out, and I get him, and we go to Hooters. And what do you think Big Sills orders at Hooters, everybody? Like, if you look at Big Sills on the screen right now, and you see him in Hooters, what do you think Big Sills orders in Hooters? Wings, boneless maybe, if he wants to hammer them without getting dirty on the set. He ordered what'd you order? Clams?
Clams and a flounder sandwich.
I'm like, so you're at Hooters. You're at Hooters. We're not at the seashore.
Clams
okay?
And a flounder sandwich, a grouper sandwich, actually. That's what I ordered.
Sandwich and clams. That's what he gets at King of Prussia Hooters. It's a crazy order, Big Sills.
It was good too. Nick Sirianni has more excuses than a pregnant nun. More excuses than a politician on Epstein Island. How you doing? We missed one other super chat too, Xander. Then we'll let you out of here.
We're flying. Thanks everybody for the super chat.
Dude, you guys are killing it today too. No shot. We're keeping all the DBs trading coming. Hey, here's the last one, Xander. Bradbury's on this team, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm starting to lean that way as well. For sure. I'm starting to lean that way as well. The more he's here, the more they're going to use him. And I think he's, you keep hearing Vic Fangio talking him up. So we'll see. But, I don't think it's a bad thing either way. You're already paying the guy. He's a great professional. He knows how to handle his business. I don't have a problem with Bradbury. I know fans don't like him from last year, and he didn't leave a good taste in their mouth. But I like James Bradbury. I really don't have a problem with the guy. I mean, I know he didn't have his best year last year, but he's a 30-year-old back.
I got a problem with $12 million.
Yeah, but it's already done. It's already done. You can't change that now. So am I going to sit here and dwell on a deal they made in the past? Or am I going to look at who I got on my roster, look at where the money's being paid and say, let's keep James Bradbury. It's worth it. Or I'm going to pay him $8 million for him to play on another team.
One day it's going to be called Sileo Island. And only a few are going to be able to roll into Sileo Island. That day is coming, my friends. You guys are blowing the channel up, man. I can't thank you guys enough. Where are we in the likes, Xander?
I don't know. We're pretty good, man. A lot of people watching us today. Appreciate everybody watching us. A lot of good people in here. Yeah, man. Almost 540. Wow, watching. Not likes. 540 people watching on YouTube right now. Tremendous stuff. 212 likes. That's it. 212, and we got 550 watching. Come on, everybody. Hit that like button.
Come on, baby. Hit that like button, man. So, yeah, hey, by the way, we're going to get on tomorrow. we're getting Boomer Esiason. He's
Oh,
promising to
great.
come on. Boomer's not working any longer for CBS Sunday Football anymore, but he's still working on Westwood One. So he's going to be broadcasting. So Boomer's coming aboard. We got a big week lined up too. I think I'm going to try to roll Jimmy in this week as well. So we got a bunch of folks. Xander, they're playing New England this weekend on Thursday night. Is that right?
Yeah, Thursday night, man. Yeah. So
Tuesday's the practice against New England. So
yep,
they're off. They're off today, right? Traveling tomorrow. Oh no, playing tomorrow. Traveling today.
They're at joint practice tomorrow. So and then they have the game on Thursday. Then they're off Friday. Then they're working all weekend. They got 2 practices Saturday and Sunday. So that's the schedule for the week.
If we didn't have $20 million in cap space, I'd be more pressed to get rid of Bradbury. But who cares? We have plenty of money to address the needs. I think you got, like you said there, Bald Eagle, I think it's 27.7.
I knew somebody else would think this was crazy. I knew somebody would agree with me.
What? Clams and a grouper sandwich at Hooters is a shit. Dude, they're staples.
Dude, it's a wing joint. You go to get chicken wings.
Guy. Big Sills like seafood, homeboy. Okay? I'm
ordering clams and fish is the reason the likes are low.
Hey, great stuff, Xander, man. We'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365 with John. By the way, John does an exceptional job for us, man. I mean, really, really great stuff. Thank you guys so much for all the work you did this past weekend. Special Sunday show, too, as well. Gary Cobb is going to join us. Hey, by the way, did you send him a link?
Yeah, I sent him.
Great. So Gary's going to be with us at
4:30. So I'll handle the production. Thank you, brother.
See that there? This is the kind of shit that I can see. Look. Everyone thinks that my life is easy. My life is not easy here. Okay, Xander.
So as you keep talking, I'll keep handling the back end stuff. All right, man. Thanks.
Hey, real quick, man. What's his name? The guy that used to coach the Florida Gators. Steve Spurrier used to go like this. The guy calls in his show. Spurrier's like this. Was called Gator Hotline. Guy calls in. He goes, "Hey, coach, why don't you run one of them damn halfback option things?" And Spurrier's drawing a circle. He goes, "Hey, Bob from Zephyr Hills, you keep fanning, and I'm the one calling the plays, and I'm the one designing the offense for the Gators. You keep fanning away there in Zephyr Hills. Have yourself an adios. How you doing?"
Yeah,
Xander,
I agree with that guy.
365, brother.
All right, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, man. Good show.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. We got a new member here.
Got to thank him before I leave, Sil. Sorry, man.
There you
Farrell,
go.
Thanks for being a member, man. We appreciate that. All the members, we've had a lot added this week, and you guys the support goes a long way on the channel. We are not a backed company by venture or any of these other things. We are backed by the people and by our loyal sponsors. So we can't thank you guys enough for being a member. You're also now, you're eligible to win a jersey and many of the other things that we'll give away this year. We're going to do a bunch of them, as many of them as I can. So thanks, Farrell, for becoming a member, man. We appreciate that.
Oh, and by the way, this just in, for every super chat that you guys send, we're saving it up to bring Big Sills into town. So that Big Sills could be there for we could do like a barbecue right outside there for an Eagle game, and we'll do a tailgate. And Xander's like this, getting this guy out of his house. There's no fucking way.
I'm gonna load up the truck with our viewers.
I'm one for one.
We're gonna come to the airport and pick Big Sills up. Last time I picked Big Sills up at the airport, he walks out to the train station. He's like, "I don't see you. Where are you?"
Took me 20 minutes to find his ass.
So you walk out, the train station's over here and the cars are over here. Hey, I'm in the car, Big Sills. I'm at the car.
It took me 20 minutes to find this guy. I didn't know what the hell was going on. All right, Xander, I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
All right, dude. See you.
You got it. Guys, great stuff so far, man. We'll reset. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. By the way, please subscribe, man. We're going to have a whale of a season this coming year. Gary Cobb's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Hit that like button. Keep us here, National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Win and save this baseball season from Colony Pools and Power Washing, a local company serving Delaware, Delco, and Chester County since 1970. Are you tired of looking at your green house? Is your roof, siding, deck stained green from algae and mold? Let the experts pressure wash your home and take the pressure off of you. Win with Colony Pools and Power Washing. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sills National Football Show. Be on the lookout for Miles Sanders becoming a Dallas Cowboy. Hey, man, I don't know and I don't get it. By the way, that team looked terrible against the Rams. Rams are going to be a good football team. They're going to be a good football team. The Cowboys, 5 wins. Remember I told you that. That guy Mark Holmes still thinks he's going to battle for the NFC East. It's going to be Washington and Philly battling for the East. Not going to be the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are looking at junkyard players like Miles Sanders. Dude, you had a shot at either Josh Jacobs. Hell, you had a shot a couple weeks ago at Austin Eckler. You had a shot at Derrick Henry. He wanted to play for you. And you had a shot at Saquon Barkley. Remember, the Eagles' first option wasn't Barkley. It was to re-sign DeAndre Swift. So the Cowboys decided to go cheap. Here's the problem what happened with the Cowboys and why Jerry didn't retool that team. Jerry's looking at the checkbook of the team, which means this. You know what he's doing? He's trying to create a drama show and not a football team. And that's the difference between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy tried to build football teams. Jerry Jones tries to build a docudrama. Things that people will watch. Whether the Cowboys are good or not, the Cowboys still have massive numbers and ratings. Jerry's got his 3 rings. He's not looking for another one. He's not looking for another one. He's 90 years old. This guy's looking to create the wealth of the football team, which he has. Tell me this. How does the Dallas Cowboys in the last 30 years raise their value of their team not having one dick? Have you ever seen anything like that? Where you can have constant failure and still that organization is now the richest team in the world. Have you ever seen a team lose more and gain more value year in and year out? Don't be treated like a wrestling fan. Hey, the Cowboys, don't look at what they're doing. This is why I tell you, the Eagles try to build a team to win. It's really weird how they do it because the owner wants to think he's some sort of football guy. He kind of is, but he's not because he makes fucked up decisions. And it costs him. It's why he's 1-3 in Super Bowls. But at least he tries to build a team to win. He wants control. Hey, Jeffrey Lurie wants control more than championships. But he at least is trying to build something. Nobody talks money in Philly. Nobody's talking about money. Nobody talks contracts unless it's the offseason. In Dallas, we're sitting here talking about CeeDee Lamb. And now we're talking, hey, by the way, so Mike McCarthy's talking about Trey Lance. I got to give it to the 49ers. You know the kind of shit the 49ers had to eat moving off that guy, Trey no-play Lance. That's what I called him from day one. No-play Trey. They ate 3 1s, and they still made it to the Super Bowl because they landed and covered with Purdy. Let me tell you something. This is how you cover a bad move. You gave up 3 first-round draft choice for Trey Lance, right? You gave up 3 first-rounders. All that money you pay him, the guaranteed money you gave him, and the only way you saved face was that the last guy in the draft making $800,000 a year, which allowed you to build your roster up, and you were allowed to do that. I'd rather have Brock Purdy right now and what he did for my team than what Trey Lance going into the draft would have gave my team. You gave up 3 1s to the Dolphins, and you covered it because you had a guy making, he makes $890 now. Brock Purdy makes $890,000. And he's going to get paid $65 million at the end of this year annually. That's saving a draft pick. Man, I'll tell you what, guys, I couldn't wait to get Gary Cobb on because I got to tell you, just like Vic Fangio, boy, I got to say another thing about Vic. As we get Gary Cobb from Fox 29 on, you want to know what Fool's Gold is? Thursday or Friday was Fool's Gold, 2s and 3s and shit. And you always got to be careful. And Vic even said it too, Gary, that welcome aboard here, Gary. But he also said it too. You got to kind of be careful a little bit because, the Ravens didn't play but 4 starters in that game. Your takeaways, though, from that game that you saw on Friday against the Ravens?
Well, I think that, you look at some of the – can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. The thing I say is, there were certain people that played well, like, young Trotter. Really, you look at some of the other linebackers in there, N'Kobe. He did a pretty good job. Really, starting off the game, I liked what I saw, out of the young quarterback that, I thought he did a good job, Kenny Pickett. And looking at him, he's running the offense, getting the ball out of his hands. I think he's going to get more and more comfortable with it, but he looked very comfortable out there, and he was executing the offense. Let's see, what else would I say?
Tanner McKee.
Yeah, I'd say you got to like what you saw there. Let's see, looking at other spots, I really think that I can see why they feel so good about the young running back. Let me see,
Will Shipley.
Yeah, he's not the kind of guy that got this blazing speed. He's not huge and everything, but he's where you want him to be, at the right time. And he plays hard. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and I can see what they like about him, especially as somebody that, let's say, that they put in. Let's say if Saquon's had a few plays, and they put him in there to block. They know he's going to be blocking the right guy. Seem like he's a smart football player and fundamentally sound and everything. So, I'm looking here to see who else stood out. I thought defensively that I mentioned the linebackers, which of course these guys are in a battle. He didn't speak as highly of one of the kids, Zach Bond. Vic Fangio was talking about him. He didn't speak as highly of Zach Bond, but he did like what he saw out of the other linebackers. So that was good to see. I was really I was pleased to see the way Trotter got in there and looked like hey, he'd been playing for a few years, and you can see that he is a smart football player, and really he and who am I talking about? He and Nakobe, both of those guys, they share a lot in common. They're not physically, wow, either from a speed pamp standpoint or from a size standpoint. You don't look at either one of them and go, wow, man, look at that guy. No, they're not that big. Neither one of them is big from a football standpoint, at least from a National Football League, an inside linebacker. You look at them, you're not that impressed with that. But they're smart football players. You could see that they understand the game, and both of them, did a good job in there, and we'll see how far that goes. Now, I think it's an interesting thing that they have a decision. Now, you're going to go with one of those guys, and then you look in and you see White. He's not that big either. Are you going to be going with undersized linebackers? Now White can pretty much run with everybody. I don't know that I could look at Nakobe Dean and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and say, can they run with the running backs, tight ends? Don't even mention the wideouts. Are they going to be able to be in there? Because a lot of times when you're playing zone, you're man-to-man in a certain area. If a guy's quicker than you and everything, even though you're in a zone, he can get open. So I'll be interested to see how they do, and it'll be interesting. That'll be something that I would keep an eye on that. But Zach Bond, he hasn't played the position. Now, physically, I think he's bigger and he's faster than the other two. See, now which way are they going to go? Are they going to go with the size and the speed, or are they going to go towards guys who they know have played the position a lot more than he has? So that's going to be interesting. That's something I would keep an eye on.
One thing, Gary, on Trotter, I saw him his sophomore year at Clemson. I thought he was really good. That was his best year at Clemson. I thought the junior year was okay. I thought the senior year was more first half of the year, they weren't very good. They got better. They still ended up winning 10 ball games. But you know what you get with him? When you watch him play versus Dean has false steps all the time. He gets turned around, especially in coverage. But when I watch him, I try to tell people he may have run a 4.8, but you know how you make that speed up? You make it with technique up.
No, that's true.
He just looks faster to me and getting to the hole. And, like you said, he's not the size of TJ Edwards, but he kind of plays a little bit like that. He's an instinctive guy. And does it just come down to reps right now, in your opinion? Just getting this guy as many reps as you can and just going from there, because it's not a strong group. And he can make an impact it's not like you're battling Devontae Smith or AJ for a job. You're battling Zach Bond, like you said, and Devin White for a job. So can he be an impact this year?
Well, I think there's an outside chance it could be. I don't know. I haven't been around Vic Fangio to see, how he treats young players. How some guys some coaches are like, look, I'm not going with these kids. I don't like going with young kids. It depends on how he looks, because Trotter is ahead of his years when it comes to football intelligence. You can tell by the way he acts, and even hearing him run things in the huddle. I can hear him. He's telling guys where to go, and it's talking to them. So he's got a high IQ when it comes from a football perspective. But I don't know if he's going to give him that kind of shot. I think that it'd be interesting to see how much he plays this next game. How do they treat him? Because that's going to have a lot to do with what kind of opportunity they're going to give him. Now, if he throws him in there, and even at the practice up in New England, how much does he let him play? You know, that's
it comes down to the reps, right?
It comes
how
down
many
to the
reps he gets in practice.
That's right.
You know, I tell people, you want to know if an organization likes you? Look at the amount of reps you're getting in camp, because that's going to tell you whether or not they're looking at you to be a future part of the team.
That's right, because they have a finite amount of time.
Right.
And the whole thing they're thinking is, who do we want to get ready? Now, if they're not using any of it on you, you know you're not in that list of the guys they want to get ready, because those coaches say, look, who am I willing to put out there? Because they got my job on the line, you know? So we'll see what they decide to do. And I'll be watching Fangio to see how he does it, you know, because I haven't been around him enough to see, well, you know, a lot of things I'm starting to, you know, to get used to him. One thing is he's not biting his tongue.
Oh no, I'll tell you that. One thing is for sure.
Which I like.
When I listen to Nick talking about Nolan Smith, and then I turn around and listen to Vic, he's like, well, the offensive lineman missed his assignment, and he got pancaked out there too. And so, you know, he's a work in progress. And you're sitting there, you hear Nick going, oh my God, he's flashing. And Vic's like, yeah, he's a work in progress. He ain't and you're sitting there going like, well, wait a minute. That guy is saying something completely different. And I will say this, Gary, I'm getting concerned about the edge rushers, because once again, Bryce Huff was on a milk carton in that game on Friday, man. And I mean, I'm not seeing it here.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, I look at Bryce Huff. You know, I just don't get excited. You know, when I'm out there, I don't see him beating anybody. I mean, at practice, I don't see him winning the one-on-ones. I just don't see it. So, I see times you see Nolan Smith, his speed flash around the corner. Now I see that out there at practice too, but with Bryce Huff, I'm telling you, I hope they didn't make a big mistake, because I mean, you gave him, look at all the money you gave him,
$50 million.
Come on, man. This dude, what has he really done? 1 year, you know, and you really, I mean, I would rather go back and look at every play, every sack he got. Now, I hope he didn't get any gift sacks. You know, if you're out there, you know, a quarterback can run into you, you know.
Well, they won 7 games, so you got to feel they're behind a lot in games last year. And so I said the same thing, Gary. I thought they were cheap sacks. He had 480 reps. And I'm like, what? You think? And Gary, everyone is under the assumption because you give a player more reps that his production's going to go up. Hey, man, that's the war of attrition, conditioning.
Yep.
I mean, James Bradbury had 1,051 plays. His production went down. Josh Sweat had near 900-something reps. His production went down. When you're an NFL player, you know this as well as anybody. When you're playing that amount of reps, your production most likely doesn't go up. It comes down.
Yeah, you know, depending on how, you know, what kind of shape you're in and, you know, how good of a player you are. I mean, a guy that's in there that's making plays, of course, he's going to have better stats, but there's no guarantee of that. You can have a guy out there and really, because either his legs are tired or whatever, you know, they used to say, you know, people be out there stealing money, you know.
You know what it is, too? You know what it is, too? It's one preseason game, and it's the entire preseason. We're not talking about just the game that he was in there Friday. This guy hasn't done shit in 3 weeks. I mean, everyone's like, I mean, you don't hear him. I hear that guy Jalix Hunt's name more than I do this guy's name.
Hey, I'll tell you, you know, and out there at practice, you notice Jalix Hunt more than you notice Bryce Huff, just from being out there. Because at least I want to see, you know, guys putting on some pressure, or he's pushing somebody back or something, you know. But, you know, you're out there. I'm out there with Bryce Huff. I'm going like, Bryce who?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you don't see him. So I hope they didn't make a big mistake there, you know.
That's a big financial deal, too, if you're making that mistake. Hey, that Quinyon Mitchell. Gary, one thing, you know, I wanted to see, because you know as well as anybody, man, you go from Toledo, then you get dropped in. You go from Southern Cal to the NFL. The game tempo is not going to shock you as much. But when you go from Mid-America to a National Football League, even exhibition game, that game speed and that game tempo, I tell people all the time, my first game, Gary, I got up, I looked down, I looked back up, there was 11 plays run already. I'm like, holy shit, These plays are like this. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
You could have 4 minuses in a row and not realize it, and you're behind the sticks.
Yeah.
It just looked to me that he wasn't out of place, man. It looked like he kind of fit in. He got beat one time, but he looks pretty good.
Well, that's what you see out at practice.
Yeah.
The kid, and they have him playing 2 positions. He's lined up at corner, he's lined up at nickel. And you don't see him out there lost. Yeah. So the kid's he's smart, and the thing is he's just a good football player. And I think they really, Cooper DeJean is really who they wanted to be doing what he's doing, which is playing both of these positions. But I tell you, this kid, he is very good. I mean, I hate he let that ball go through his hands because, it was a good play and everything. But you see him out there. He has a lot. Most of the time, he's locked up on his guy. He's very good, got quick feet. He got the speed to make up. And that's why he's not afraid to cut in there to get a pick. I can see where he's going to get chances to get interceptions. And I'm more than pleased with what I've seen of him because he's out there playing all these different positions. You don't see them correcting him. When I've been out there, I haven't seen them, where he's been making mistakes and he's playing 2 positions, a rookie. And you don't see too many times where they complete balls to the guy he's covering. So I think they got to be pleased with what they've gotten out of him so far. Now, the whole thing with Cooper, I don't know when is he coming back?
Supposed to be maybe back this weekend. I mean, it'll be 3 weeks Sunday.
Well,
that's a lot of missed camp, Gary.
That's a lot. I mean, that's all, just about the whole camp.
Right. They don't have 2-a-days, so you can't make them up in double practices.
No, and he doesn't have much time left, so I hope that they can get him out there because there's nothing like you could stand there and look at 1 million practices.
No shit.
That still is not, it doesn't do you any good because you're not out there. Because when you close your eyes, let's say at night you're out there at training camp, you're seeing plays running through your head and everything. But from a player standpoint, you're standing there at your position. You're seeing guys doing things, and he hasn't had any of that. So I'll be very interested in seeing how he cuts it when he does get in there. But so far, we haven't seen anything of him just standing over there. They do have him doing drills though before practice now, and when the other guys are doing, you see him doing drills now.
Okay, a couple last questions here for you.
Yeah,
Gary, why are they not committed at saying that Mekhi Becton is going to be the right guard? And Tyler Steen got a ton of reps, but very underwhelming. And I got to say, man, I mean, now look for like a good cover. I thought the kid on the other side, Trevor Keegan, played well at left guard. So, I looked at Tyler Steen and I'm like, that guy's not battling that guy at all, man. He's not really, but Mekhi Becton, I think's won that thing hands down. Why haven't they committed to it? Why haven't they made it go, no, it's his job to lose. It's his job right now, and he's beating the kid out. Is it because I think they drafted him 3rd?
Yeah, I think they want to see the consistency. I think that's okay. That's the reason they're holding off. But I tell you, with Tyler Steen though, and I'm there looking at practice. I'm going, dude, wrap your leg up, your ankle or whatever, and get your butt out of there, man. You're losing your position.
Yep.
I don't get it, man. I just don't get some of these guys. This opportunity he's got, dude. Wrap that thing up and get out there.
They have you earmarked to be the starter too.
Come on,
shit.
And come on, look at the opportunity. I mean, playing the money. It's not even. Come on, are you kidding me? You're talking about $15-20 million, kid.
Yeah,
and you're just a season. I'm not talking about at some point. You see the way it's going, the way the salaries are going up. You're gonna have guys that can't play making $20 million a year.
Look at Andre Dillard, money he got from Tennessee.
I mean, it's just, but that's the way it is. But I'm standing over there seeing him standing, where they say he twisted his ankle and stuff. In a game, come on, you play. he's in a game right now where he is. He should be looking at practice as if it's a game because this is an opportunity to be a starter. You know, this is a huge time in his career, and he's going to let Becton get in there and maybe take the job, you know, because I could see why they're not so quick with Becton, because I see, you know, where he's not sure sometimes. See?
Yeah.
I can see what he's doing things and he's not sure.
Well, you know, Gary, you know, when you're a tackle and you got more space to work with, when you're a guard, you have more traffic. And
That's
so
right.
you got to pick your feet up more inside because of the traffic. So you
Uh-huh.
don't have, and he's an enormous dude.
Huge.
So, I mean,
huge. Now he does have the
think
talent
he
to do
just
it,
got to
though.
get in a comfort zone of playing in in that phone booth a little bit. Because you're more in a phone booth
That's
when
right.
you're in that guard spot.
Yeah. Now, I think he could get comfortable in there, and then
I do too.
It would be a plus because I have seen him manhandle people.
Yep.
You know, he's capable of being in there, and you got another guy who in there is manhandling people, and you know, if he gets used to it, his ceiling is probably higher than Steen's. And I really don't. But with Steen, the thing that really is disappointing is, look, you do not let a guy. You don't just give a guy your job by, you know, you got an ankle or whatever. You go like, look, you know, and I don't know, maybe he don't have a good girlfriend, a good wife, but because he had one. Hey, honey, you know I love you. Get back in there, baby. Come on, you got to get back in there, or a father. I feel like, come on. I feel like
Hey,
walking
Gary,
over them.
my wife wouldn't be talking like that. She'd be like saying, hey, better get used to coming home early, man. You know why? Because you lost your job, man. I mean, hey, let me tell you something. Labor Day's coming around the corner. And I'm be like, what's Labor Day? She goes, ain't that final cut down day?
Hey, I'm telling you, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. A lot of these guys with injuries, man, you know, where a guy's standing over there, he's moving fine. I'm going like, these guys are fighting for their job, just like that third receiver position.
I was just going to ask you, Gary, do you think that third wide receiver, finally here, do you think that third wide receiver's on this team? By the way, that guy, Anais Smith, whatever, he stinks.
Yeah.
They need to find, or do they think they have the guy, Britton Covey? I say you have to have a durable guy and a reliable guy in there. You don't have to have a star guy, but you have to have somebody reliable in there.
Yeah, I think right now, I don't think they're comfortable and really confident that they have the guy. Now, I've seen things out of Britton Covey. I've seen things out of the big rookie. What's the big rookie kid? You know,
Johnny Wilson?
They like something. Johnny Wilson, that they like some things out of them. But I don't see the guy there. I don't think he's on the team right now. And, you know, Paris Campbell, man, another guy. I'm standing there going like, dude.
I know.
Well, I mean, tell me what you heard. It must
Not
be something real bad. You're standing over here not practicing when you're supposed to be fighting for a job. So I'm very disappointed with him. I don't get it, man. You know, some of these guys, if I knew them better, you know, I would have helped them and told them something like, man, you better get your behind out there, man.
Hey, did you hear Gardner Johnson on the sidelines telling this guy, Anais Smith? So let me get this. I talked to Clint Hurt.
Uh-huh.
And Clint's saying that Gardner Johnson, this dude's in street clothes.
Yeah.
You better get your shit out. You better get your head out of your ass. Whole sideline went quiet.
Yeah.
Clint wouldn't tell me exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He said, but he's from one end of the bench to the other end of the bench.
Yeah.
They heard Gardner Johnson in this guy's ass.
Yeah.
Ripping him a new one, man. He goes, hey, NFL, not for long. I mean, I love shit like that, but
hey, they got guys over there that don't get it. They got some kids over there that don't get it, man. I'm going like, dude, all that money that's out there, come on. This team, you could be playing on a Super Bowl championship team, this team right here. You're gonna take a practice and you're walking around fine. From what I can see, look like you're all right. You know what I mean? Like you're not that bad. Where you wrap that up, man, you're out there. You're going like, I'm not giving that dude all my reps. I don't don't understand these
Gary,
kids.
it's not
They
giving
don't
the reps, it's
understand
giving the job up.
Yeah,
He's
come
just
on.
handing him the job.
Come on. Well, if you're giving up the reps, in a way, you are giving up the job.
Yep.
Because you're not, they're going like, well, such and such won't play. He's not playing. You know, we want somebody durable anyway. We want somebody who can play through some discomfort. And you just take off, and I see the kids standing over there. I'm going like, look at 80 over there, man, Paris Campbell. I'm going, man, I just couldn't, man. I'm going like, man. God was talking to other guys. They said, Cobb, man, don't me. I'm going, man, what this dude, what is wrong with you, man? This your whole career? You're going to be home looking at TV, man, you know? And you're going to be looking at the games. Ain't no digit coming in.
And no, hey, and you're going to be staring at your phone for about 7 months.
That's right. I mean, come on. Like, you know, even if you're out there and they got to take you off or something, at least you're going to try to practice. But they got guys, you know, I saw it with Paris Campbell. I see it with this other kid, you know. I'm going like, man, you guys don't want to play in football. Man, get off the field, man.
Absolutely, man.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely. Hey, one last thing. These organized team practices tomorrow against the Patriots.
Uh-huh.
What do you think you get out of those things? Gary, am I right? When we were at Thousand Oaks, I thought we scrimmaged like the Chargers. And we practiced against the Chargers, and I also think we practiced against the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
And we did those team practices. That kind of shit, like that kind of stuff we did, like that kind of stuff.
That's what they're going to do. And really the Eagles, they really take it very seriously. So it's going to be like a game, only they're going to be, breaking it down, of course, like it's practice, but there's going to be a lot of, they're not going to be necessarily tackling, but the competition and everything is going to be, like they're in a game. And one of the things I got to give Nick credit, I do like the way he does that, is he plays everything like it's a game, like the practice. He's got the coaches sending in the play. He doesn't have them standing there because, a lot of times when you get in practice, the coach is standing right there. He's standing right by the huddle and, telling the quarterback, no. He makes him go over there on the side like it's going to be during a game, and where the quarterback gets used to taking the play, or whoever's doing it defensively, they're getting it and they get used to, hearing each other and how he's going to say things. They're going through that kind of detail, and really that's the way the game is played. So I can appreciate that Nick does that, and he makes the teams do that. And so it's going to be like a game in a lot of situations. And they are going to have all their players out there competing. I don't think those guys are going to play during the game. So they're going to get a lot of work tomorrow down there, up there against New England. So they do get a lot of reps. That's one thing they're going to get is a bunch of reps.
I like it. Gary, I appreciate your insight always, man, and I thank you so much. Game on Thursday, obviously, against the New England Patriots as well. So Fox 29 in Philadelphia, folks. You can catch Gary Cobb's analysis, former Eagle, 10 years plus NFL guy. Gary, thank you, brother.
Talk to you.
You got it. Our friend Gary Cobb from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. Guys, do me a favor. Xander, where are we on the like list right now? Where are we on that like list? Guys, give me a heads up here where we are. 287. Do we have a shot at 400? Holy cow, you guys killed it today, man. Absolutely sensational stuff. Please hit the like button, guys. By the way, we're going to take a look at day 11 at the top of the hour, too. We'll reset everything. That'll be all at the top of the hour. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood days.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Win and save this baseball season from Colony Pools and Power Washing, a local company serving Delaware, Delco, and Chester County since 1970. Are you tired of looking at your green house? Is your roof, siding, deck stained green from algae and mold? Let the experts pressure wash your home and take the pressure off of you. Win with Colony Pools and Power Washing. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Guys, please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much. We're now up over 300 likes. I'd love to see if we could potentially get to 400 by the end of the program. That would be utterly insane that we would start this Monday off after the first exhibition weekend of the NFL. I took some things away, man. I really liked what Jaden Daniels did. Hey, James Jones, if you're in here, man, absolutely insane how good that kid looked. He looked outstanding. Okay? He looked outstanding. Okay? Just tremendous. So I love what Jordan Love looked like. I thought Jordan Love looked good. That Packer team, those wide receivers that Green Bay has, okay, they're going to be Jordan Love is going to have a huge year this year. Green Bay is good. You know what? It would not shock me if Green Bay wins the NFC North. It would not shock me. He looks great. I thought Caleb Williams, over 100 quarterback rating for his first outing and his first debut with the Bears, I thought he was good. I thought he looked good. Now, again, it's not so much – look, if you notice one thing about how I look at exhibition football, I don't bring the score up. I know, Yale. I think that's going to be a fight between Green Bay and Detroit for that NFC North. I'll tell you this, too. I think Minnesota's going to be a little bit better if they can get kind of that kind of play from J.J. McCarthy. He's better than I thought. Bo Nix didn't look bad. Okay, Bo Nix didn't look bad. Stills, Jeremiah Fowler, or I think it's Jeremy Fowler, Kyle, if that's who I think you're talking about, ESPN, has reported that multiple teams are interested in trading for Matt Judon. Are the Eagles one of those teams? We will take a look at that. Absolutely, Big Joe. Appreciate it. Stop it, Sills. Most Williams yards come off a 5-yard. Hey, dude. Let's be candid here. Jordan Love's a great-looking ball player. He's a great-looking ball player. And Caleb Williams, I think, he looked better than I thought he was. Okay. Matt Judon is going to cost you 3 years and $20 million. He's better than He's better than Reddick. I'd pay Judon the $20 million. If I'm New England, why do I even have that guy on my ball team? Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's why New England, though. I agree, Big Sills. How about this one here? You know why the Patriots don't want to trade? Why wouldn't the Patriots want to trade Matt Judon to the Eagles? Why do you guys think? Why would the Patriots not want to trade with Philly? Big Sills, you're kind of a clown and you ain't even a real Kane. And those are all fake game balls. And those are all fake game balls too, right, dude? Right, Joe? Hey, Joe, well, you ain't a real president. How you doing? Yelko's no idea. What a trade by Howie. Sills wrong. What trade? What trade? Why wouldn't the New England Patriots want to trade with the Philadelphia Eagles? Why wouldn't they? Oh, come on, Matt. You know better than that. Don't let some dickhead like that. It's all good. Maybe they're seeing what's happening with Reddick and don't want any. Nope. There you go, Kyle. Kyle listens and is astute. Why would I trade a guy and get draft choices with a football team that I'm going to be picking at the bottom of every round? Say you get a 3 and a 5, so it's closer to being a 4th rounder and a 6th rounder than it is to being a 3rd and a 5th. Or if I trade him to Arizona picks in the top 10, then you're in the top half of the draft in the 3rd and the 5th. It's draft positioning. If you're the Eagles, you're going to be picking between 25 and 32. Well, that's bottom of the 1st, bottom of the 3rd. I mean, I'm looking to get value for my player. And it's cool. Everyone just assumes, well, let's give him a 3rd. Well, what's the number in the 3rd? Is it the top end of the draft or bottom end of the draft? Because if it's the bottom end of the draft, it's more like a 4th rounder. You got to look at positioning and how Howie looks at that. Matt Judon is probably going to command. Let's do the Brian Burns deal. A 3 and a 5. Okay. Why would I trade with the Eagles? That's more like a 4 and a 6. At the bottom of the rounds. It's like a 4 and a 6. Now, if I trade with a team like Tennessee, I'm going to be high picks. Shooter goes, he's 32. Well, definitely not giving him 20. But he's probably going to get. No, he's not going to get 25 shooter, but he's going to get 20. He's a good football player, dude. He can play. Okay, Big Sales. What home game are you going to special live broadcast? Be incredible. Might have to do that Brazil game. That might be fun. Sills, at this point, what would you get? What would you get, LB or DE? I get a linebacker. Your linebackers all stink. And I don't mean that about Trotter. He's too young. I don't know what he is yet. Your linebackers stink. By the way, I want to read something to you here. This guy, Devin White, is so full of shit. I already can't stand him. So listen to this bullshit here. What was it last week? Well, he chose the Eagles because Howie was the only guy to give him a Zoom call. Okay. Now here's the other one. Devin White says, I took less money to play in Philly. What are you talking about, guy? You asked the Buccaneers for $100 million at the beginning of the year. And by the end of the year, the Bucs released you. What in the world are you talking about? This player thinks he's better than what he is. He is delusional. He chose the Eagles because you're making $3 million on a one-year deal. You're nothing special. I agree, Kyle. I think this Devin White guy, I don't know if it's character, Kyle, or it's delusional issues. He's delusional. Go out and play. The money will take care of it. He's still talking about fucking money that he doesn't even have or negotiating. He's still hung up. I came to Philly to take less money. Nobody asked you that. Nobody asked you that. Twiz goes of making up a false narrative? What narrative? That this guy's delusional? Dude, he's not good. He's not a good player. He's not hey, these guys want me to watch some sort of fucking interview with a guy talking, sitting down with a conversation. I'm done listening to him talk. I want to see him play, and so should you. No more interviews with Devin White. I want to see some action. I am sick and tired of listening to him already. I'm not watching it. The only film I'm going to watch on him is this. I'm going to watch him in a game, in his game film. It's the only film I want to watch. And it so should be you. Twiz goes, believe what you want. I believe what is production, and that the Bucs let him walk out the room. Nobody lets the fifth pick. Like I told you, in the last 10 years, there's only been 2 linebackers drafted in the top 10 picks. He's one of them. And get this, the Bucs let him walk for nothing. Go ahead, you can have him. Go ahead. You can have him. You thought Rashad Penny was going to be good. Kyle, I think you can use him as both. Matt Judon. Okay? Just how Sills judges Kellen Moore is past jobs and being fired. Not sure what that means. Kellen Moore's on the hot seat too, dude. He's been fired. Get this. Senor doesn't think a guy who's been canned 2 years in a row is also on the hot seat to show that he is a good coordinator. Okay, you're right, because that's normal. Guy who's been fired 2 years in a row. No, you're right, Senor. Judging? No. I'm telling you what happened. He's been fired 2 years in a row. You're making it sound a narrative that doesn't fit what you're saying. Nick's on the hot seat too. Okay. That's not a narrative. Those aren't narratives. Oh, you're right, Sil. No. Do you know why, Senor, I am right? Because I'm telling you what the dude is today. I'm not giving you some sort of fantasy talk like you do. Oh, he'll be good. No, he won't. He hasn't been. Nick been fired, or Kellen's been fired 2 years in a row. Those are facts. Hey, I know, right, James Jones? Some of the folks don't like hearing truth. That's why you get your panties in a bind with me. Like the game on Friday. My God almighty, if you listen to any network or any Philadelphia station, you swear they came away with great positives out of it. There were a lot. But temper it, like Vic Fangio said, with 2s and 3s. Relax. The young player, hey, if you take anything away from that game on Friday, the young players, they did look good. The draft looked pretty decent. on Friday. Your edge rushers stink right now. And you're like this, one exhibition game? No, the entire camp. The entire camp. Sills, what linebackers are out there that we can trade for? Martin, nobody's trading for anybody right now unless you go to a shitty football team. The only way you're going to get, okay? The only way you're going to get good players of going to bad teams. Facts out of context are misleading. Politicians do it. Is Kellen Moore let go if Harbaugh takes the Charger job? Yes. Yes, when it cost a guy the head coach's job, the coordinator was going to be fired anyway. Yes. If any new coach, get this, Slager thinks that a new coach is going to come in, whether it's Jim Harbaugh or anyone, and keep Kellen Moore and not bring his own coordinators in. Sure, because that works all the time. Right, Slager. Where? A new coach that's hired is going to bring his own people in. The only place that doesn't work is in Philly, where Howie makes the hires. I mean, try to be on focus and stay in the facts. Exactly. The head coach wasn't fired. It was because of Moore. It wasn't because of Moore. That's not the fucking point, guy. He was going to be fired no matter what. That entire staff was let go. Nobody remained. Why? A new coach was hired. Whether it was Harbaugh or anybody else, they were firing him because of the inability to win games last year. Oh, you're right. They would have kept him and fired everyone else. Wow. Dog, you might want to sit this one out for a little bit here. Guys, please hit the like button. Vuna Sills is right. If Moore had a market, he would have had a job in this last hiring rotation. Hey, Vuna, I mean, he was the second choice in Philly, actually, too. Yeah, the first choice was Cliff Kingsbury to be the offensive coordinator. It wasn't Kellen Moore. Okay? No, Sills. The point is that Moore was let go because the head coach was fired. Because the entire staff was fired. If you've got a good quality coach, you're going to keep him. You do. James Jones. Some of these people cannot be. Hey, Slager. All good, dude. I'm not debating something that you're not listening to. Okay? All were fired. I mean, hey, shut up, Niner, all day. You just said Harbaugh wouldn't have kept him. No head coach would have kept him. They would have brought their own guy in. New coaches bring their own people in. What are you missing? Oh, exactly. Okay. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. That goes against Sills' point of him being fired he was fired 2 years in a row. He was fired in Dallas and fired in LA. Let's end this. Stroud or Love. Like it. Stroud or Love? What'd you guys take? Stroud? Man. Jordan Love looked awful good, man. I think Jordan Love and CJ Stroud, these guys are great. Oh, man, that's a great question. It's a coin flip. This is just, I don't know, man. It's just something about, you know what, though? I'm going to take Love, and here's why. Because I think Matt LaFleur is going to be with him longer. And that Brian Slokey guy, is that his name? The OC, will be a head coach, and they'll have to find a new OC for him down in Houston. And they're going to have to find, D'Amico Ryans is going to have to find another OC for him. Whereas Love is going to have the same offensive coordinator for the next at least 10 years. I told you that insane stat that the Packers have. You want to hear this crazy? I mean, you guys, some of you guys know this stat. Okay. And the stat is in the last 34 years, 97% of the Green Bay snaps have been by three quarterbacks. Three quarterbacks: Favre, Rodgers, and Love. You talk about getting a QB position right. And they don't really give a shit about wide receivers up there in Green Bay. They only care about the quarterback position. Quarterbacks develop wideouts. Wideouts don't develop quarterbacks in Green Bay. Green Bay's better without Devontae Adams. Who would have thunk that? Think of that for a minute. Okay? Think about that. They don't need – they've drafted 2 wide receivers in the first round in 40 years. 40 years, 2 wide receivers in the first round. And the rest of them have all been second, third. Devontae Adams was a second, third, fourth, fifth, and 6th rounders. I mean, Hurts hasn't had a season of throwing the ball like Love or Stroud. He never will, Troy. Think about that. He never will. He'll never throw the ball like those 2 guys. Those 2 guys are tremendous pocket passers. LaFleur is like Andy Reid in the 2000s. Matt LaFleur showed me that he's absolutely a heck of a coach. Heck of a coach. Guys, please hit the like button. You guys have been insane today. We're going to reset everything, okay? We appreciate it. Where are we right now, guys, in the like list? Now, I can't thank you enough, man. I think we're like kind of where we can get in line, maybe get to Twiz goes 1 year wonders. You mean like your guy? Right, Twiz? Like your guy, 1 year wonder? 321. Fantastic. Guys, we have a shot at 400 today. That would be utterly insane, 400 likes today on a Monday coming out of an exhibition weekend. This dude's the biggest hater of Hurts. How is a guy on an Eagle channel? I don't hate the guy. You got me wrong, bro. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. I think your guy, I think you pop him up being better than something that he's not. I think he's a really good ball player. He's a really good player. Not my style to win games, though. That's all. You like cherry pie? I like apple pie. Nothing wrong with that. Don't get your panties twisted. Seals, what was Hurts' pocket passer ranking in 22? I don't know. He threw for like 3,700 yards and 22 TDs or some shit like that. Very unbecoming of a pocket passer in the NFL today when the league is set up to throw the ball. And he had 2 1,000-yard receivers, and he can't throw for 4K. Okay. Let's see. Has Jalen missed the playoffs in 3 years? What does that have to do with the guy's skill set of being a pocket passer? Lamar Jackson's won 2 MVP awards by the time he's 26. Let's do this. Let me think of a guy. How about Brock Purdy? He's made the playoffs every year he started. Won Super Bowl. Is he tremendous too? All right, we're going to reset. Talk a little bit about what the coaches said again. We're going to talk also a little bit about day 11. No, Twiz. He's had one good year. Plain and simple. Twiz, name me another year that Jalen Hurts has had that you would consider a really good year. Name me another year outside of 22. What year would that be? He's been in the league 5 years. Going into his 4th year as a starter. What year would that be? 21? 23? Which one of those years are you going to hang on? What year do you think that you would put next to the 22 year? Seals, do you think the defense will be better next year? I do. Niner all damn day. They don't want to hear that. So far, 1 year. I got it. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit that like button. We're going to reset. No question. There were some really good takeaways, though, from this past Friday. We're going to hit on them. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Win and save this baseball season from Colony Pools and Power Washing, a local company serving Delaware, Delco, and Chester County since 1970. Are you tired of looking at your green house? Is your roof, siding, deck stained green from algae and mold? Let the experts pressure wash your home and take the pressure off of you. Win with Colony Pools and Power Washing. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Please hit the like button. You guys have been sensational, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Please hit the like button. I think we're like 60 likes away from potentially getting to 400. You guys have absolutely blown the show up. I appreciate it, and I can't thank you guys enough. Really awesome here. Let me say a couple things here about two people before we get back into resetting here. And again, we'll take a look at day 11 of Eagle practice. Traveling today, organized team practice tomorrow against the Patriots. Then they're going to play Thursday night. And guys, like I said, thank you guys so much. Patriots will smack the Eagles easily. I don't know about that. I don't really know what the Patriots, that roster's not very good right now. Thank you, Cheese. 70 likes away. Guys, please hit the like button. Let's see if we can get there, man. That would be pretty awesome. So Jerry Jones is now backing up his comments with CeeDee Lamb saying, we really miss you. I'll tell you what, man, I've never seen a guy make a bigger asshole out of himself than Jerry Jones on a day-to-day and week-to-week and a year-to-year basis than anybody that's ever run the Dallas Cowboys. He has been a colossal train wreck since Jimmy Johnson left. Let's be candid here. He's been a train wreck. As a football man, he's been a train wreck. That's not Al Davis. He always thought of himself as an owner like Al because he was on the 1960 Arkansas National Championship team. Well, you got to remember something about Coach Davis. And I worked for Al. I was handpicked by Al Davis to work in the Raider organization. Al Davis was a wide receiver coach at USC. He was a wide receiver coach when he was with the San Diego Chargers. Hey, Yale, you in here? Do you know who he inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? And he wasn't a Raider. Do you know who inducted him? I mean, this man was plus he was also an AFL Coach of the Year at one time in that AFL. Do you guys know who he inducted? He inducted Lance Allworth because he was the wide receiver coach with Sid Gillingham there. So, I mean, Al Davis was a football guy. He knew people. He knew how to coach. Wasn't just, I mean, he became the managing general partner only because Pete Rozelle became the commissioner of the National Football League. Al was the commissioner of the AFL. So, I mean, Jerry just goes around parading like he's pseudo Jimmy Johnson. Had no idea how to build a championship team. Tell you one thing, it's one thing to draft people. It's another thing to pretend that you know how to build a championship football team. He's never built a championship team. Okay? He's never. And he never will. He lived off the back of Jimmy Johnson. Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame because of Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy Johnson's not in the Hall of Fame because of Jerry. That's all you need to know. That owner doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He has no idea. And one thing before we reset here. So Sean Payton now is in Denver. You guys are saying this to me all the time about Bill Belichick. What's Belichick done without Brady? Well, what's Sean Payton done without Drew Brees? What's he done? Has he ever had a winning year without Brees? I'm awake, are you? You want to know something that's crazy? How in the world is Bob Kraft not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but Jerry Jones is? Bob Kraft has 6 rings, and he's been to 11 Super Bowls. How's he not in the Hall of Fame? Well, Twiz goes, Jerry hired Jimmy. That's your biggest and greatest crowning achievement. And you're also the guy that fired him after you won a Super Bowl. Jimmy wins the Super Bowl and you fired him. And you've never been past the wild card game. Gee, Twiz, you think there's anything to that? The Switzer thing, okay. But since even Switzer says, this is Jimmy's team. Since Switzer, you haven't been past the wild card. I think that's all you need to know. That's right, James Jones. Harmon kicked the shit out of Jerry. Thought he knew better. Said anybody. Remember what the line was? Anybody could coach the Cowboys and this talent. Well, not so true. Not so true. Not anybody could coach the Eagles. Right, Nick? Doug wins that Super Bowl in 22. I think we all agree. Right? Right? Hey, that's right, Kyle. I think Sean Payton is a modern-day George Seifert. I think he was all hyped up down there with all the great quarterback play that Breeze gave him. You put him in a different environment, he was garbage. Seifert was in San Francisco at the back end of the great dynasty that Eddie DeBartolo and John McVay and Carmen built. And once he got to Carolina, he went from being a Hall of Fame coach to a guy that won't even look at a Hall of Fame ever again. Okay? Switzer in Philly is known for back-to-back stops, 4th and 1. They stopped him again. Merrill Reese. Hey, I'm a Barry Switzer guy. I love Coach Switzer. Got a brand new beer out too, man. Eduardo. All right, guys, you all have a rest of the day. Have a good night. Great show today, Big Sills. I'll catch you tomorrow at 8 over at Birds 360. Thank you so much, Eduardo. I appreciate you, brother. That's really cool of you, man. Guys, please hit the like button. Trying to get to 400 likes today. That'd be a great record if we could end up doing something like that. So, yeah, Sean Payton too, dude. I mean, come on now. All right. I'm going to reset here because some of you missed it. Big Seals takeaways from Friday's game. And then we'll look at day 11 of practice. Wrote my notes. Games was terrible. I mean, wasn't really much to watch, but you could have some takeaways from it. And anytime you get 2s and 3s playing against one another, you're not going to get a very smooth ball game. So you have to understand and kind of expect that when you don't have first and second team, well, you don't have your first team guys in, and it's the majority of 2s, 3s, and whomever that are in these games, it's not going to be a smooth operation. Okay? It's just not. Baltimore, I think, only played 4 starters. I think that was the number that I heard John Harbaugh, because I checked out what they were saying about you guys. And they were happy with their, basically said 2s and 3s, except for the backup quarterback role. They were pretty happy with what happened because they didn't really play anybody. They played very little starters. And they played no offensive starters whatsoever, just like the Eagles didn't. I thought one thing is for sure, the young kids, Trevor Keegan, Will Shipley, Trotter, Quinyon Mitchell, thought those guys had a good night. Thought they had a good night. Game wasn't too big for them. The moment wasn't. They looked decent out there. I thought Trevor Keegan had maybe the best night of any O lineman. Opened up some holes. I've also told you this about the kid, that any other year, Trevor Keegan's a 3rd-round draft choice. He's not a 5th. It's one of the deepest drafts in NFL history came to O lineman. And I think he played really well. I mean, want to obviously see some more out of him. I didn't think Quinyon Mitchell, he got beat one time on a go route. I thought the rest of it, I thought he was pretty decent out there. Did some nice things. Trotter's continuing to get better. As you heard Gary Cobb say, got to get more reps with him. You got to get more reps. Get more reps. Hey, it's one thing to go against 2s. Now, why is that not a big deal? And why is it a big deal for Nakobe Dean? Well, Trotter, that was his first NFL experience. I love the way you matriculate a kid into a ball game and into a league. You don't have to throw him out there against 1s to get killed. Let him get out there. Let him make a play. Put him in a winning environment. Put him in a winning situation. That's how you build confidence with players. You don't have to put them out there and get murdered. There's no reason for that. Put them out there. Let them get. See, this is why I think also they've mishandled Nakobe Dean. They've completely mishandled Nakobe Dean. You fired him out there thinking because you drafted him in the 3rd, he was going to be a starter, and you put him out there against 1s, and he's getting murdered. Every time Nakobe Dean gets in a game against 1s or an opposing team, he gets destroyed. Hurt, turned around, false steps, not very good. You didn't give him a chance to kind of work his way into the league. That's what you're doing to Trotter here. You're giving Trotter more of an opportunity. Well, you're going against 2s and 3s. Now you maybe put him in a game against 1s. See how he acts against 1s. Put these players in winning positions to build the confidence you need. That's how you're going to elevate them and grow them. That's why Cooper DeJean or Cooper DeJean, whatever, him being out murders his ability to be an impact player in the first 8 games of the year. Just absolutely does. So what are you going to do? Fire him out there in game 1? No, to get killed in that game. Not having seen game tempo, played at Iowa. How are you going to get him game reps? Organized team practices? Shit, he's out there right now with Gardner Johnson, and these guys are running conditioning to try to get their injuries better. I mean, that's not going to help you. That's just not going to help you. I thought Will Shipley played well. I thought he played well. Let's go to Vic Fangio. Then we'll do Kellen. Vic said that in the middle of the game, I think quarter 2 and quarter 3, between quarter 2 and the middle of 3, they had a few 3 and outs. Why is that important? Got to get off the field. It's good. Younger players getting off the field, 3 and outs. You win ball games, 3 and outs. 3 and outs. Want to get 10 3 and outs a game. 3 and outs. Last year, what was the major problem after week 8 of the season for the Eagles? Couldn't get off the field. Got to get 3 and outs. Your edge rushers have a long way to go. They have major problems with edge rushers. Your edge rushers are a problem. You're not very good there. Now, I'm a Josh Sweat fan. Okay? I am a Josh Sweat fan. And I think Josh Sweat is going to be an impactful football player this year, but you don't have depth. You're going to run into the same situation that you're going to run into, that you ran into a year ago because of your lack of depth. And, dude, Brandon Graham on the team, what's the point? How many plays is he going to play? Is he going to help your depth this year? How many plays do you think Brandon Graham plays? 20? No, he ain't going to play 30. Okay? He's not going to play 30. Say normal game is 65 plays. Your starter's probably going to get 50 of those snaps. So he's probably going to get 15 snaps. He ain't playing 35 snaps. He's not getting half. So wait a minute. Takeem goes, he thinks that Brandon Graham's going to get 35 snaps a game. I don't think he understands what that means. You think he's getting 600 snaps? No way. Shit. Bryce Huff had 450 last year as a backup. 600 snaps, you're floating on being a starter. You ain't getting no 600 snaps. That's 600 snaps if he plays in all 17 games. No way is a 36-year-old guy going to be playing 600 snaps. If anything, he probably gets 15 to 17, something in that range. Let me see what that comes out to. That's more like it. Let's put 17. That's 300 snaps. Might be more. He could get 20. I think Brandon could probably handle 20, I think. It's about 350 snaps for a 37-year-old. Yeah. So Takeem thinks he's playing 600 snaps. How many snaps did he play last year? He only had 18 tackles. I mean, Gabe Hall, who's that? Still's with the Dolphins drafting Chop Robinson. They traded Chubb. Do they trade Chubb or Phillips? They're not trading Phillips. And that Chubb deal, depending on who would pick up that contract. They're not trading Phillips. Well, wait now. Phillips' deal's coming up. So maybe. Okay, maybe they would think of doing that because Phillips has been pretty good down there. And he played for Vic, but I don't know what that relationship is like. Playing the more important ones, let's say that Dallas game, the Bengals game, the Steelers game, and the Brazil game. Well, Abraham, that sounds great and all, but what about the other games? Are you saying that Sweat's got to pick up 95% of the reps? You're back to where you were a year ago with limited production out of the guy because he's got to play 980 snaps. That's a ton. That's a ton of plays, dude. That's a ton. By the way, this guy is not high on Nolan Smith, Vic Fangio. He's a work in progress. He's improving. He's not impressed with Bryce Huff either. We're coming along. This guy, Bryce Huff, has done nothing. I think it's time to get a little concerned. Okay? I think it's time to get concerned. You're going to go into that Packer game concerned whether that guy's going to live up to what you need. Seals, can you ask Clint Hurt the relationship between Fangio and Phillips? I will. Actually, I can. Here, let me think. Let's see if he still follows me here, Phillips. I probably could do that right now. I'll ask Phillips himself. I think he follows me on Twitter. I think he's followed me since he played at UM. Let's see here. Phillips, Miami Dolphins. Yeah, Jalen. Yeah, let me see. I know you hate that we know all these people, brother. I love Twiz, man. I just asked him. We'll see what he says. Ken, appreciate it, brother. I'll ask him what his relationship was with Vic Fangio. Doesn't look like we can stop the run either. Front seven is concerning. Troy, I thought the Ravens did a nice job in the first two series. Okay? I still cannot believe they let a 29 sack and only 2-year guy walk away. Hey, M-Sip, absolutely. You let a guy walk away without anything really for 2 more years. You don't get that third rounder for 2 more seasons. Yeah, please, guys, hit the like button. I mean, think about it. 30 sacks in 2 years. You let that thing walk out the building. You got nothing in return for him. And you went out and you signed a guy who you thought could be something like that. When you had the guy in a year, get this. All you had to do was probably give him $5 more million and he would have showed up to camp. You didn't want to do it. So, I mean, hey, it's one thing to get rid of a guy. It's another thing when you get rid of somebody, what's your plan? Hey, I think both teams handled this poorly. I personally think that the Eagles handled it poorly, and I think the Jets didn't have a plan. How do you get rid of a guy and you didn't have it worked out where you were going to sign him to a deal? Okay. Let's see here. I'm a Waker Eagles. $5 million is a bunch. Really? Well, that would have put him at 20. that would have put him at 20 million. And he could show up at 20 million. He's making 14.5 now. Would have put him right around 20. I mean, then you're talking about paying him market value, 20 to 25 million. He's not Nick Bosa. He's not Michael Parsons. He's not those guys. But, you know, Danielle Hunter got a good deal. The guy, Brian Burns, got 25 million annually. Could be in somewhere in there. Taylor goes, 5 million is nothing. I know. You could have used 5 million just to sign TJ. But once again, you don't want to address defense. Standard operating procedure. Even in the conversation that you heard Nick talking, you know, I'm sorry, I see it differently, but I get it. They didn't want to play their offensive players during the rain because it was too wet out. But they played all their defensive guys. And you would say, well, didn't they need more work over there? Yeah, you needed no work offensively. You guys don't play in the rain in Philly? I mean, you play in a dome? I mean, that's one of the reasons why Belichick practices outside all the time when he was up there in New England. You got to play AFC Championship games in the snow. You're not going to play inside in New England. You're not. I mean, one of the reasons that they played like that. And you don't want to play like, you know, I mean, how do you know it's not going to be torrential downpour down in Brazil when you go down and play? What's not going to get off the bus? It was good. Josh Jacobs, I'll tell you what, that Packer offense looks awful good. That Packer offense looks awful good, my friends. Offense is not what organization covets. Eagles could care less about the defense. Nobody gets a contract on D except the corner. And Troy, always remember this, a rental corner. Every big-time deal that you have on your defense are rental players. There's not one homegrown player that you've paid any significant money to yet on that defensive side of the ball. All that money is on the offensive side. I mean, Seals, if you trade for an edge rusher like Phillips, then Huff rushes on third down. Does the defense make sense now? Dude, if you had Jalen Phillips on one side and you got Bryce Huff on the other side, and he's able to give you some production, makes total sense. But here's what makes even more sense. If you put Jalen Phillips on one side and Josh Sweat on the other side, and then you rushed situationally Bryce Huff, it makes 1,000% sense. It completely does. You got two bona fide people that could set the edge for you, and you got depth, and maybe Nolan Smith comes along too. Me, Jalen Phillips, Josh Sweat are your perimeter and interior. You have Milton, you have Jordan, and you have Jalen. That's a pretty good looking front seven. That's a pretty good looking front. Let's see. Three in the middle, two. That's a pretty good looking front five. They're going to go with that front five, that 52 look. That's what they're looking at, that 52. Yeah. You're going to have Milton. They're going to have Milton out there too. You could rotate Milton around. I think Howie's value offense over defense. Yeah, Troy, but I think the NFL does that now as a league. If you're changing rules and taking hip drop out, and you're changing that dynamic on getting people on the ground, I don't think that's a Philadelphia isolated scenario. I think that's a league issue. Hey, look, drafting NFL players any longer, unless they're corners or pass rushers, what's the point? What's the point? Got to stop the run for sure. But am I gonna spend $25 million on Roquan Smith No. Bears were right. I'm not spending $25 million. Why would I? They got rid of him, and now they got the best linebacking core in pro football. They got rid of the second best interior linebacker. Sent him to the Ravens. The Ravens paying him 20. They took that money and created the best linebacking core in pro football. They wanted a unit versus a man. That's how I think you build a team. I'm not going to pay $20 million for one guy on defense. I'm going to pay 20 across the board, 7 to TJ, another 8 to another guy, and another 8 to another guy. And I'm going to have 3 quality linebackers. I'd rather have 3 than 1 on a football team that can't stop anybody. It doesn't make sense. Would any of them get the TJ Watt treatment where he is able to switch to the weakest link of the offensive line? Abraham, that's because you have Mike Tomlin too. I think Vic's in that room. You know what I would do with Nolan Smith? Hey, Yale, I don't know, how people, maybe even Bryce. I'd move those guys around. I would put him on the weakest link. Save Sidney for the playoffs. Sidney Brown is solid. He ain't great. Not yet. He's got a long way to go. He wasn't great last year. Stop doing that. He's not ready yet. He's a green apple on a tree. He over pursues, and he'll get there. By the way, big hitters are not wanted in the league anymore. Stop with the fact that he's a good hitter. So the league will fine him, suspend him. That's not what they're looking for any longer. Vic Fangio's constantly sending videos out of not being able to use the hip drop, let alone defenseless receiver. They're not going to they don't want big hitters anymore. The Cam Chancellors are gone. It's not a game changer. Game changers aren't drafted in the 3rd round like that. It's not a game changer. He could be a good ball player. We'll see. Game changer. What, like Rashad Penny, right? Wake? Mm-hmm. Sidney didn't get enough time like the front office does every year. Yeah, Chip's got to give him a little bit more time. Give him some seasoning, man. Let him get a chance to get out there and play. I love it how people think they're all of a sudden going to put a guy out there who has been out an entire year and a half, and he's going to turn into Ed Reed. I mean, funny how you see that. Going to take his he's going to take his cape off. He's a hitter? Well, that's not wanted in today's league. That's not wanted. I'm sorry, all this love for Fangio. I'm not a fan of the scheme. The soft style makes the players play too soft. Troy, you have a soft roster. Your linebacking core is the worst in pro football. Your depth up front is limited. You're exceptionally young in the secondary. Those guys have to go out and get name value. Right now, they're just young. They look with some promise, but that's not what that is. That's why James Bradberry, don't you find it odd that Isaiah Rodgers is starting and not your number 1 draft pick? Isaiah Rodgers missed an entire season a year ago. Why would he start over Quinyon? What's he have over him? This guy was sitting on his couch. He couldn't even practice a year ago. Do you realize that? He couldn't even practice. Isaiah Rodgers didn't practice. He was off and out of the building. How does Quinyon Mitchell not play versus a guy who was out and didn't play? And James Bradberry's still on the team. You know why? And I think Gary Cobb said it perfectly. Vic is one of them old school guys. Dude, Vic's going to go with experience over youth. I see it already. It would not shock me to see this secondary. Isaiah Rodgers, C.J. Gardner, Avonte Maddox, Reed Blankenship, and Slay. And that's how you start the season. All these people that are saying, well, you got to get Cooper and Keeley. Not putting that guys in. Vic Fangio is an old school coordinator. He'd rather have experience versus a guy who's got exceptional talent. Just because you have exceptional talent doesn't mean you know where to go. Most of these old school coordinators are like that. They're not going to play the younger guy. The younger guy has to earn his stripes. Hey, by the way, Vic Fangio was talking about Quinyon. You know what he was saying? They were asking him about the cornerback position. And he goes like this. Well, one of the reasons we're playing him in the slot and in the dime and in the nickel is because we want to get him on the field. Then asked the question, what about corner? He goes, well, we're getting there. He's not sold right now on him starting at corner. But he wants him on the field, and he feels he's limited at the safety position. Forrest says that Keeley should be CB2. Never happened. Unless an injury happens. No, never happened. Guys, please hit that like button. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Twiz, Mitchell, cornerback 2. Never happened. Not yet. Maybe week 8. Could be somewhere in there. You're going to get him reps. You want him on the field. By the way, I'm not saying that because I think he can't play. I'm saying that I think he just needs some reps. This guy's got 15 reps playing against 2s and 3s. You're not going to line that guy up against the Packers right now until you're confident he knows what to do. Because Matt LaFleur is going to go right at him. They're going to run crossing route. Dude, you got confused in the Super Bowl by crossing routes. What are you going to do with Keely Ringo, and with Quinyon Mitchell playing in the secondary? They're going to run those guys into one another. You guys are out of your mind. You have no idea how experience works. And get this, they ran you into one another with Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster. They ran you into one another. Ringo would be a first or second round pick. Nobody's saying here that he doesn't have talent. That's not. Why are you taking it that way? I'm saying get him more reps. Get him acclimated to the game. That was a good way to do it on Friday. Vic is not going to play younger players unless he feels exceptionally sure they know what they're doing. He's just not. Did Vic win a Super Bowl, or did I miss that too? His defense wasn't hot last year. Why the trust? He had 2 all-pro corners hating him, wasn't willing to adjust his scheme. Hey, Troy, I think he had a lot of influence in your 22 defense. Sills, who you got for cornerback across Slay? I say Isaiah Rodgers, at least the first half of the season. Okay? Sills, what's your grade on that Ravens game for the Eagles? What's my grade for that Eagles game on Friday, what I saw? This would be no matter what, they won or lost. By the way, let me say it this way. First and foremost, let me say it this way. I wouldn't come away from that feeling bad. I wouldn't come away feeling bad. How about this? C+, B-. Thought the quarterbacks did well. Second team O-line did well. I think the defense kind of settled down. The younger players played well. Your draft looked good. Your third wide receiver is terrible. Shipley looked good. I thought the mechanics of the offense looked well. I think your pass rush was terrible. I didn't think you were ready to play defensive tackle-wise the first 3 series. Linebackers are terrible. But Trotter got better. Dean, I'm whatever. I thought Quinion, outside of getting beat on that wheel route, I thought he was okay. Yeah. C+, B-. I think Gainwell's had a really good camp. Yeah. I do. Sales. Mitchell played corner in base formations against the Ravens and shifted to slot in a nickel package. No, hey, Slacker, I think they want him out there. I do. I really think they want him out there. Hey, guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood days.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Win and save this baseball season from Colony Pools and Power Washing, a local company serving Delaware, Delco, and Chester County since 1970. Are you tired of looking at your green house? Is your roof, siding, deck stained green from algae and mold? Let the experts pressure wash your home and take the pressure off of you. Win with Colony Pools and Power Washing. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales, please hit the like button here. We appreciate you guys have been sensational. Over 350 likes here on a Monday, man. Starting the week off for us. We really appreciate it. Joint practices tomorrow, a little bit on day 11 when it went on. Getting ready for the joint practice tomorrow against New England. Hey, for the record, James Bradbury's making your football team. Okay? He's making your team. I thought they had some competition out there I heard they had like a bunch of competition on Sunday. They worked on fundamentals, tackling drills. Mitchell and Devontae Smith were going after one another. Gardner Johnson is still working and nursing on his shoulder. We'll see if he gets back by the start of the season against the Packers on September 6th. It's funny. They will not commit to Micaiah Becton yet. I wonder why. And so far, Zach Bond and Devin White are still your interior linebackers, and I still got a good feeling here that Trotter's going to continue to get more reps. I've been pleasantly surprised by him. I really have been pleasantly surprised. Hey, I want to thank our folks at BetUS also for powering this program. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out our friends and our new partnership with JAKIB Sports and with BetUS. They have become a partner of ours, and the 4-hour show has been, without a doubt, powered by BetUS, and we thank you. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Big Joe, thank you. Xander, thank you. 2 to 6 Eastern time, and we shall see you on the flip side.